happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. What's your, like, this is not my question.
Okay.
It's just a question.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Halloween costume that you've ever done?
I've never done a Halloween costume.
Ever?
I mean, not like with much effort.
Why?
I've done a few little ones. Well, because I couldn't do it when I was a kid.
I'm talking about it as an adult. When you have, free reign. Free will. Nobody can tell you what to do.
I like Halloween, and I like the aesthetic and the decorations, and it's fun, and I like scary movies, but I think I just don't have the, like, I don't know. I don't remember who I was telling, but I'm like, I said if I were going to dress up, I would, like, really want to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't have the energy to go all out, so I don't want to, like, half-ass it, so I just don't.
I feel that way a lot. So, I mean, you gotta pick something simple, but, like, iconic. So you can be like, oh.
I'll tell you my two favorite half-assed ones, though.
Okay.
When I was in college, I went to a Halloween party dressed as a snowman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wore, like, white sweatpants and a big white sweatshirt and, like, wrapped a pillow, like, taped to me so that I looked fluffy.
Yeah, that's cute.
And then when I was in hair school, we got to dress up for Halloween, and I dressed up as a dad. I wore jeans and, like, a big sweater that had a golf bag on it, and I carried a remote around everywhere, and I had a fake mustache on.
Nice.
And I had short hair, so I, like, parted it and combed it over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime you can add a mustache, I feel like.
Yeah.
Mustaches are just fun.
Carrying around the remote all day was very funny.
Yeah.
Had a prop.
Yeah. Props are good.
Yeah. But that's it, really.
Remember that time that it was just for work, but you were, like, just, like, Michelangelo adjacent.
Oh, yeah.
Just because I just remember that your eye makeup just went all the way across your face.
Yeah,
it was, like, orange sparkly eyeshadow.
I had,
You had, like, turtley tights.
I had turtle tights, and I had, like, a kid's, Michelangelo shirt.
Yeah.
Like, that just was, the body was on the front of the shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just put, like, orange eyeshadow across my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've done, like, those kind of costumes.
Yeah.
Not, like, all out, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to have, like, the time and the money and the energy to, like, really make stuff and make them look really good, but, yeah, it's just, because when Taylor and I were the Blues Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
That was really good, and it was so low effort.
Yeah.
You just have to have two of you.
Right.
And so I liked that one a lot. I also liked, because I was wearing sunglasses the entire night in the bar, and I was like, I don't know who anyone is that's talking to me, because I cannot see.
Your sunglasses were too dark.
They were way too dark, yeah.
Not for inside.
No. And then the time that I was Janice Ian.
Oh, yeah.
That one was a lot of fun. And I feel like it looked really good. But it was also, like, a little bit too subtle. Because people were like, are you dressed up, or do you just dress like this?
I mean, you do kind of dress like that, so.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's a fair question.
But no, I nailed it. Yeah. Actually.
Nice.
But...
I think my favorite idea of a costume was when you, me, and our old roommate were going to be the three guys from Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog.
We got the application that you just sent in. That would have been great.
Yeah, just for the idea of every time somebody asked us who we were, we had to start singing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do it until someone, like, one person said, who are you supposed to be? And then someone else said, no!
You're right. No!
They're gonna start singing again.
We don't know who they are. We've learned nothing.
Bad horse, bad horse, bad horse, he's bad. The evil league of evil is watching, so beware.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
Just poking our heads out of door frames the whole time. Yep.
I love that. Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog.
It is good.
It is. But anyway, yeah, Halloween. Cool.
Halloween!
Neat. This is our last Halloween movie?
Yep.
Yeah, it's the end.
That's the end of spooky season.
On to my birthday season.
Yeah. That's true.
The season
also fun.
Of buckets.
Do you just want to pick all the movies for November?
It's bucket season.
It's bucket season!
Yeah, there was one we were talking about that you're like, we have to do this one. For Thanksgiving. But other than that, yes.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
You don't have a choice. I'll just start talking about that.
I don't care what you watched.
No,
I
we're
watched
supposed to do this movie. Like, I didn't even watch it.
I didn't watch it. I'm not contributing to that. Didn't even look at your notes. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm Meat Wedge.
I'm Bucket Snake.
This is Replay Rewind.
Wow.
It's It's a podcast. It's about movies. It's about kids' movies from the 90s and before. We pick a movie every week, talk about what we remember happening, we go watch it, talk about what actually happened, and then we give you fun trivia about it. And it's cool.
The trivia is always fun.
Always. It's never upsetting. I've
No.
never once cried because of the trivia that we talked about here in this cave, or gotten mad,
No.
or been remotely horrified. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Have you ever lived in, or would you live in, a haunted house?
I don't think that I have, but I think that I would.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would
for
you
sure.
buy a house that was haunted?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
I don't either. I mean, it depends on how it's haunted, I guess. I was just
Yeah.
listening to an episode of Strange and Unusual with Daisy Egan about the Amityville horror.
Yeah.
And I was like, this house is mad haunted. Like,
yeah, like,
not unpleasant things were happening in that house.
yeah, not bad haunted,
I
just
don't
like,
want that.
sometimes there's a lady that walks down the hall.
Yeah,
like,
whatever.
that's fine.
As long as she's not bothering me.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, depends on the type of haunting, but yeah, I think that would be fine. I think it'd be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I've never...
Yeah, really, actually, I guess the question is, do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah, that's kind of the question, because I feel like, no, but also yes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I believe in, like, this apparition is the spirit of a specific person type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think that, like, someone's grandpa is,
Mhm.
like, trapped in a house.
Right.
Like, I do think that there are, like, maybe negative energies or, like, a collection of something, or even if you see a ghost, it isn't that it's, like, that specific person.
Mm-hmm.
It's, like, some other type of thing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But there's only one time that I felt, like, really creeped out and, like, that there was probably a ghost near me.
Yeah.
I took this writing class a couple years ago. Writing, not riding.
Sure.
There were no horses involved.
Ghost horse.
Or camels, or... yeah, ghost horse. And it was in a building downtown that I guess used to be a brothel, like, way back in the day. And we talked about it in class, and not in, like, a, ooh, maybe this building is haunted way, just like that's an interesting fact.
Yeah.
And one time I was in the bathroom, and the bathroom had another door in it that I assume went to a closet, but just while I was in there, I was just like, there is something on the other side of that door. And I have never felt so creeped out in my life.
Yeah.
And I just, like, ran out of there and never went in the bathroom again.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
Eee.
Yeah.
That's fair. There could have been.
Yeah.
You don't know.
But, so, do I believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Same. I don't believe in ghosts in, like, a sentient sort of, like...
Yeah.
Like you were saying, yeah, like this person's spirit lives here and does things and knows that they're doing things and is, like, trying to...
Like, has intention.
But I think just from, like, a purely scientific standpoint, like, because energy cannot be created or destroyed, when you put energy into a place, it has to go somewhere, and I guess it could just stay there.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you put a lot of energy, or like a lot of, if it was super negative or super positive, or you just did something 1,000 times, you know? So if someone spends a lot of time in one place, they're physically putting a lot of energy into that place, and I think that it can hang out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I used to live in a house that, my bedroom was upstairs in the attic, because it always is.
Yes.
I always live in Cape Cod houses, and I always live upstairs.
Yeah.
And it was the entire upstairs. And there was just sometimes I would be in my room and I would hear footsteps on the steps to my room.
Oh.
And I would just be like, hello? And then there wouldn't be anybody there.
Yeah.
But that was it.
Nice.
So, I mean, it never, like, you know, it wasn't like, oh, things get moved around or thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and I also, in that same room, my grandmother got me this mug, like a coffee mug, that said congratulations on it. And it would play, when you tilted it, it played You Are My Sunshine, which is cute, but weird.
Yeah.
Like,
I've never...
The combination... strange.
This, yeah.
Yeah, it just had, like, a little, like, disc in the bottom.
Yeah.
That, like...
How do you wash this mug?
By hand. Because, I mean, it was, like, contained.
Dry clean only.
Yeah.
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 Take your mug to the dry cleaning.
Can you clean this? Like, you could just do it, but sure. They just take it into the break room and, like, wash it and then bring it out to me. And they're like, that'll be $50. But I microwaved it one time because I forgot that it had a thing in it. And so I microwaved it and it, like, fried the thing.
Oh, no.
And then it would just kind of go off sometimes on its own.
Ooh.
And so I forgot about that, and I was sitting in my room, and from across the room I just heard, like, nee, 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 nee. I was like, haunted mug! So that was kind of terrifying. It's like, stop touching my shit! But the footsteps on the stairs was just... The first time I heard it, I just assumed that my roommate was like... Because I was in my room playing video games, waiting for him to wake up so that we could do stuff.
Yeah.
And I just heard... And I assumed it was him. So I, like, leaned over. It was like, hello? And I was like, oh, he's just fucking with me. Went downstairs. He was still just, like, full on asleep.
Oh,
and I was
no.
like, oh, neat.
Okay.
And that happened a couple more times, like, that day. So,
You're
it
just
was
like,
fun.
hi.
I was like, okay, hello.
Hey, buddy.
And that was it.
My favorite ghost theory is that the Loch Ness Monster is actually just a ghost of a dinosaur.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's why, like, some people have seen it, but you can, like, get in the lake, you know, and, like,
they won't eat you.
Filmed
They've not found
everything.
it.
Yeah, they haven't found it.
Yeah,
but, like,
drag the lake.
Yeah, she's just a ghost.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Ghost dinosaur.
I know. I was like, oh, yeah, why have I never thought of this? That's tight.
Other things could have ghosts.
Yeah, absolutely.
I used to, sometimes... And this is probably mostly just expectations. Yeah. But after my, like, childhood dog died and, like, went to my parents' house and you'd just be like... You would just know that he was there. Yeah. Like, you could just feel him for a little bit. He's like, yeah, he's under the table. And then you're like, oh, no, he's not here anymore.
Yeah.
And my mom said the same thing. She's like, I'd be sitting in my office and I would put my hand down to pet him and then be like, oh yeah, he's not here anymore. But it's also, I mean, a little bit just like, well, he was there for 13 years, you know, or however long. So a little bit of that, but also, you know, some days you're just like, yeah, and then other days you forget that he wasn't there and you'd expect him. So it was just weird.
Cute.
Yeah, I know. But then I feel bad because I'm like, well, we moved out of that house.
Yeah.
Is he still in that house? Or was he just hanging out because we were there? And
right.
It was just, you know, like, maybe other people wouldn't expect or couldn't feel his energy because... So in that regard, I definitely hope that...
It's not, like, sentient energy. It's just
exactly.
Like residual,
like, he's not there waiting for us.
Right.
Because that would make me sad. So...
Wow.
Yeah, bringing it down.
That's sad now. Yeah, why are we talking about ghosts besides the fact that it's fucking Halloween?
Because to... culminate, cap off, round out,
wrap it up.
This month, we're talking about Casper.
Hell yeah, we are.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
For this
It's been
movie.
a long time.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot I don't remember.
Yeah. I used to have, like, a children's picture book novelization of
oh, nice.
This.
Yeah.
Which I forgot until 2 seconds ago. Just
cool.
now that I had it.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Is it pictures, like, from the actual movie? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, do they still make those?
I don't know.
Because I had one for Batman, too.
Yeah, interesting.
I don't remember which Batman. Whichever one had Tommy Lee Jones in it. I had one for that as well.
I can't, they all run together. I love all of them, and they're all one movie in my head.
Same. I know, because I always picture...
Even though they're all very different.
George Clooney. I'm pretty sure it had, like, George Clooney and... I was pretty sure it was Batman and Robin, because I'm pretty sure if I see the front, it's got, like...
Yeah.
George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell.
Chris O'Donnell.
But then I'm like, no, it had Tommy Lee Jones on the inside, and Tommy Lee Jones was in the Val Kilmer Batman movie.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe they mashed them together. Who knows? They're like, we'd do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Or maybe I had more than one.
That's true.
Who knows? Anyway, we're talking about Casper.
Yes.
What do you remember?
I remember it's Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
They move into a house that's haunted.
Yep.
And she makes friends with him. I remember, like, some sort of almost, like, Rube Goldberg machine. Mm-hmm. With a marble. Mm-hmm. In the basement?
Yeah.
But I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about. But it's there. Yeah, and they make friends. There's a lot going on in the basement, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's, like, a roller coaster? Minecart type thing? But why? Is her dad trying to, like, bring back the dead?
Yes.
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 Because her mom died?
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, it works on Casper,
mm-hmm.
played by Devon Sawa. But, like, just for one night.
Mm-hmm.
When they have a dance at the house.
Mm-hmm. There's, like, a Halloween party.
Yeah.
For all the kids at her school.
And they kiff.
Like, kiff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He says, "Can I keep you?"
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how she knows it's him.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cute.
It is.
That's all I remember.
Yeah. There are also 3 other ghosts that live in the house.
Yeah.
Because you've got Casper, the friendly ghost, and then there's 3 other ghosts that live there that are not friendly. And their names are, like, Fatso and the two other ones. Something it's about stinky, maybe like stink.
Okay.
I think.
So their names are just descriptors
Yeah, like
of
what they are.
them, yeah.
And they're like super rude and crude.
Yeah, and lewd.
And lewd. Their names are lewd, crude, and rude.
Yeah, pre-chewed food too.
And her dad dies at one point and becomes a ghost.
Oh, yeah.
And then he has to fix himself.
Wait, who plays her dad?
It's Bill.
Is it Bill Pullman?
One of the Bills. It's not Bill Paxton. It's Bill Pullman. Yeah.
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 Shit.
And there's also a realtor.
Uh-huh.
Some blonde lady who's trying to buy the house, sell the house, something, and they scare her off.
Yeah.
And that's because it's like her dad as a ghost and the three other not friendly ghosts scare her off.
Yeah.
And then Christina Ricci has to convince her dad to not be a ghost anymore because he's like, I'm having a great time. And he's like kind of forgetting who he is. And she's like, but you're my dad and I need you to be my dad. And he's like, oh yeah, okay. And then he becomes a person again. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where they're all eating food and candy like really loudly and messily,
and you can
and
like
it's just
see
falling to the ground and like plopping onto the ground. Yeah, they're just like shoveling it all in their faces.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
And I think she probably has a hard time at school. People think she's weird.
Well, it's Christina Ricci.
Right.
That's the character that she plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because something, like the Halloween party is kind of weird, or people are trying to prank her at her own house.
Yeah.
Or something
it's like a really
that.
big house.
Yeah, it's huge. And like mansion-y and old.
Is the floor in the like room where they have the Halloween party like swirly?
Maybe.
I don't know what I'm thinking of, but I just feel like it's like has a pattern on it.
Yeah. Maybe so. I think there's like because you're right. There's like some sort of roller coaster car thing in the basement.
Yeah.
And it might go in like a corkscrew.
Maybe.
For a little bit. But I don't know what that's about. There's definitely some sort of machine in the basement.
It's been a while since we've done a movie where I was like, there's something stored in my brain.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to unlock all of the things. I do definitely think this is going to be one where it's like, right before something happens, I'll be like, oh yeah, this is about to happen, and I'll be able to like hear it in my brain.
Yeah, but, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely hear him whispering to her, like, can I keep you?
Yeah.
Because she's just like, who is this mysterious boy?
Yeah. It's Devon Sawa.
It's Devon Sawa.
Who else would it be?
Fair. It's Thackeray Binks.
Oh god. Yeah, cool.
Cool.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
Excited for Halloween.
Yeah.
Excited for Casper.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
Happy 1-year anniversary.
Shit!
Couple days early, but
yeah.
It's okay. It's alright.
Should we get each other presents?
Yeah. We should.
Anyway. Go wait patiently for us to return. Actually, I was gonna say go check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/replayRewindPodcast.
Uh-huh.
For $5 a month, you get 3 bonus episodes a month. For $8 a month, you get at least 4. But you know what? Just relax.
Yeah.
Listen to the music.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back. A fucking friendly movie.
Yeah.
Get it?
For
Casper,
the most part.
The friendly ghost, get it?
Yeah.
But, I mean, also the plot is about Kat and Casper.
Yeah.
Finally finding a friend.
Yeah. That's true. They're very friendly.
It's about friendship.
Literally everyone else in this movie is not friendly.
No, but they could use some friends.
They really could.
Yeah.
You know who really needs friends?
Who?
Dibs.
Yeah. Well, I think Dibs is dead.
Yeah, he's dead now. He could have used friends before then.
Dr. Harvey made friends with the 3 ghosts. Like,
yeah.
They're friends now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a friendly movie. Anyway, the IMDb says... An afterlife therapist and his daughter meet a friendly young ghost when they move into a crumbling mansion in order to rid the premises of wicked spirits.
Uh-huh. Afterlife therapist.
Yeah, an afterlife therapist, you know.
Yeah.
For the afterlife.
That's what I want to do.
I believe in you.
Not really. So it opens on the moon, and there's some howling, and we see, like, this creepy locked gate on a creepy property, and some kids ride their bikes up to it, do the cool guy slide.
Creepily.
In the dirt and the gravel. They're looking through the gate. And the taller one, I assume they're brothers. The taller one says, "One picture and we're history." And the shorter one says, "That's what I'm afraid of." Which is a weird, like, we're history? I guess it's a weird way to say, like, we're leaving.
Yeah. Yeah, so they slide under the gate and run up the walkway towards this gigantic house that appears to be in disrepair and also fake.
Yeah, it's not a real house from the outside, for sure.
And very ugly.
It is ugly. Normally, like, I see, like, giant houses, towering mansions, the creepier the better, and I'm like, hell yeah, let me in that house. And I'm like, no, that house is ugly. It's
not only ugly, but it's also, like, when was this built? It doesn't seem to have any direction as far as, like, it doesn't look like a mid-century modern house, or,
right.
It's just, like, weird angles and...
Yeah, I read a thing about, like, a very real specific house that it's modeled after.
Yeah.
And I was like, none of this means anything to me. I didn't recognize any of the, like, names or words, so I was just like, I don't care. So I guess it's modeled after some, like, art house thing, whatever.
Sure.
But it's ugly.
Sure.
And yeah, it's very fake looking.
Yes, absolutely.
But the boys, who are named Andreas and Nikki, and we learn that they're, like, breaking in so that kids at school don't think they're chicken. It's just, like, a typical dare, like, go in there, prove that you went in there.
Right, yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. So they get inside to this, like, giant foyer thing. I don't even know if you can call it a foyer. Like, it's so big.
It's like a
just, like, the middle of the house.
Entryway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You, like, walk in and it's, like, huge. And then I guess all the rooms are, like, around it?
I don't know.
It's weird.
It is a very round place.
Yeah, that's true. But they're fighting over who's going to take this picture because Nikki is like, well, if I take the picture, no one will believe that I was here. Right. So you take it.
Yeah.
And Andreas is like, no, you take it. And I'm like, take two.
Yeah, just take. Maybe
it's a Polaroid.
One film left.
Take a selfie. Like, you
they
can
didn't
figure
have
it
selfies
out.
Then nobody had ever done it before.
I don't know. There are ways. That's my point. But they're arguing about it.
There's another way too.
Mm.
It's with this little ghost that appears.
Yeah.
And says, hey guys, don't fight. I'll take the picture.
Uh-huh.
And some invisible hands take the camera and snap the photo.
Yep.
But they don't really stick around long enough to see how the photo turns out.
No.
They run away screaming.
Yeah. They abandon their flashlight and their camera and their dignity.
Yep.
As they run screaming from the house.
And the credits continue as the Polaroid develops and their little scared faces show up.
Yeah.
And then it's Casper, the friendly ghost.
And then we see Ben Stein, who is reading a will.
Yep.
And then we just hear, like, millions of dollars are just going to these different foundations. 11 million to the dolphins, to the Save the Dolphins. 1.2 million to the pumas. 1.4 to the Patagonian wasp reservation.
God, don't save the wasps.
Preservation, whatever.
Dyslexic Dalmatians.
Yeah. But then we see this blonde lady at the table who is smoking and dressed as though she has just lost someone.
Yes.
And she doesn't care about any of this. She puts her cigarette out directly on the table.
Onto the table and nobody says anything.
Yeah, just nobody even looks at her. I mean, I'm sure she's just so hard to get along with that they're like, I'm not even. But it's just so rude.
Acknowledge. I know.
And she says, forget the livestock. What did the old stiff leave me?
Mm-hmm.
And so Ben Stein kind of skims through the rest of it. He's like, let's see, owls, bobcats, snakes. Daughter Kerrigan. Whipstaff Manor in Maine. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Because she's just like, that's it? And he's like, yeah.
Some like, pile of junk or something is all I get.
Yeah, some lousy piece of property.
Yeah, and he says, oh, it was junk 50 years ago. Now it's condemned.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck, bye.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm late for lunch.
I know.
I'm like, tight.
It's rad.
What
he just
nice
leaves
job
them.
That must be.
And I guess it's not like his office. It's just like a conference room. But he's just like, anyway, bye, and just leaves them there.
Bye.
And so now that they're alone, Kerrigan, I mean, she threatens him on the way out. She's like, I'm going to sue you and every dolphin. I'll see you in court. And he's like, yeah, knock yourself out.
Yeah, good luck.
But so once they're alone, she yells at Dibbs, which is her lawyer.
Right, is he her lawyer?
I guess.
They hang out too much.
Too much. He's there for the rest
that?
of the time. Well, I think he's probably doing it pro bono.
Pro bono?
In hopes.
Pro boner.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, yeah, so now that they're alone, Kerrigan is mad at him, and she implies that she doesn't imply. She says, you should have forged the will like I told you to.
Mm-hmm.
And then takes the folder containing the will into the fire.
Yeah, just chucks it in there.
But Dibbs is like, the deed to the house is in there, so he goes to, like, try and get it out.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's looking at the sheets of paper, some words appear now that it's all heated up. It says,
yeah.
Buccaneers and buried gold, whipstaff doth a treasure hold.
How exciting.
Treasure? Says Kerrigan. That's how she talks.
That's what she sounds like, yeah.
Dibbs, you idiot! Get it out of there!
Dibbs? She's very friendly.
Yep, but he reaches in and he pulls the map out of the fire. It is half burnt. Kerrigan is excited. Mm-hmm. Dibbs is also half burnt.
Yes,
He's crisp now.
I know, he should have just left it.
Yeah.
But she, she says, I'm finally gonna get what I deserve. Which is like...
She's not wrong.
Foreshadowing.
She gets what she deserves. Also, I kind of wish that she were played by Jennifer Tilly.
I know.
Because her voice is, like, almost like that, and it just makes me think of her.
Yeah, it's a little raspy.
Yeah.
It's cool sometimes. The way that she talks is cool. And then other times when she's, like, in distress, it's like, oh, this is a little grating. But it's fine. But Kerrigan is a really cool name.
I was listening to a podcast about a cult the other day, and they had a bunch of recordings of the cult leader talking, and she was a woman, and every time she got worked up, it was just, like, so high-pitched and grating, and I was like, how is anybody enjoying this? I cannot.
How could you get sucked into this cult?
Right? It's so squeaky.
The message was there, but, ooh, can't handle listening to it.
Anyway, now we're in Maine.
Yeah.
It's raining.
Yeah, it's very wet.
Kerrigan and Dibbs are there. They're doing an impression of the scene from Jurassic Park. They're in like a SUV and the rain is pouring down and they have to go unlock the gate.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Dibbs looks kind of excited. I mean, he's like looking out, at the property and he's like, so, what do you think? And she just looks at him and says, I think you're gonna get wet.
Yeah.
She's so mean to him.
I don't understand.
Like, all the time.
Yeah.
Because he goes and he opens the gate for her in the rain, and then she just drives through it and up to the house without him and makes him walk to the house. Like,
way.
Yeah, just in the pouring down rain. And I'm like, why? And we see this all the time where, like, these dudes hang out with these, like, really nasty ladies. And it's like, why? She's not gonna fuck you, dude.
Or even if she did, she'd probably be mean about it.
Well, yeah.
It wouldn't be fun.
No. I mean, at least you'd, like, get off, I guess. But, yeah, it's just like, no... Are you having a good time? Is she paying you?
Does it for them.
Maybe.
Somebody being mean to them.
But he's just like, she's not gonna fuck you, dude.
No. But anyway, they get inside. Mm-hmm. Kerrigan is not impressed. Mm-mm. It does look cool in there. There's like really big staircases.
Yeah.
But it's very dusty.
And a lot of them. It's so dusty.
Yeah.
That's what you should have said. That was a fucking dusty movie.
Oh, I should have. I googled how you make fake dust, because I was like, there's no way this dust is all real.
No.
And apparently there are, like, dust guns that you can buy for, like, sets and stuff.
Yeah.
Or you can use hairspray and talcum powder.
Oh.
You just, like, hairspray something and then really quick blow talcum powder on it, and it makes it look dusty.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't try it. I don't own talcum powder, and I don't need any more dust in my house, but...
Sure, yeah, I mean, my house is dusty enough.
But I was like, who tried that?
It is dusty.
It's so dusty.
Like
there are a lot of archways in the hallways, and they all have, like, just, like, a foot of just hanging dust.
Yeah, and cobwebs, which are also dusty.
Yeah.
It's gross.
It's impressively gross.
Makes me want to sneeze. But anyway, Dibbs is kind of, like, looking around and talking about it, and accidentally lights his thumb bandages on fire from where his hand is all bandaged up.
Yes.
I don't know.
Whoops.
But, while he's dealing with that, we hear a small, friendly voice that says, hello. And Kerrigan, like, hides behind Dibbs. And she's, like, talking through him. Like, she'll whisper something and he'll say it out loud.
Right.
So she's like, who is it?
And the voice says, I'm afraid I can't answer that. It's super echoey, too.
Yeah. Why not?
Why not? It's kind of hard to explain. And then she says, is he the caretaker? Yeah. Are you the caretaker?
Are you the caretaker?
No.
And then, so I watched this first, like, 20 minutes twice.
Yeah.
Because I first rented it on Amazon, and then I waited too long to finish it, and I didn't want to rent it again. Because I was
Yeah.
like, I'm pretty sure I own it.
Yeah.
So I went into my basement and dug through my box of DVDs, and I do own it. So then I
Nice.
watched it on DVD, and I was like, I'm just going to watch this first, like, part that I've already watched.
Yeah.
Just straight through without, like, taking notes and, like, actually look at it.
Yeah.
And so when I watched it on Amazon, Kerrigan says, is he a drug dealer?
Yeah.
And then Dibs, like, kind of gives her a look and says, are you a transient?
Mm-hmm.
On the DVD, she says, is he a transient?
Oh, weird.
And then Kerrigan says, are you a transient? Or Dibs says, are you a transient? So they changed it at some point.
Huh.
Where, yeah, because I was just
That's
like...
weird. You would think it would be, like, the other way around.
Yeah.
It's weird that...
That's where they changed it to drug dealer.
Yeah.
From transient.
Huh.
Yeah. So anyway.
Well, if you're a transient drug dealer, go ahead and email us at Replay Rewind Podcast. I'm just kidding. Or you can. I don't care.
Yeah. Say hi.
But, so Kerrigan threatens to have him arrested for trespassing.
Mm-hmm.
And the voice is like, okay, but don't scream. I get a lot of that. Which also, like, what is the threat of calling the cops to a ghost? But, okay.
Yeah.
But he says, I'll be right down. And then we see a little ghost boy sliding down one of the banisters.
Yeah.
And he lands right in front of Kerrigan and Dibs. And he becomes more, like, opaque.
Mm-hmm.
And he waves at them and says, Hi, I'm Casper.
He's so cute.
Yeah. And then they both start screaming.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess they didn't promise that they wouldn't.
That's true.
He just asked them nicely not to.
Yeah.
But Casper's like, don't do that. You'll wake the... too late.
Yeah.
And then whatever he didn't want woken up is making a ton of noise. And there's like a swirling whirlpool, not a whirlpool.
Tornado.
A tornado in the middle of the floor. And there's like moaning and giant scary faces. And Kerrigan and Dibs run screaming from the house out into the rain.
Okay, I have another suggestion.
Yes.
Jennifer Tilly.
Uh-huh.
And instead of Eric Idle,
Mm-hmm.
Gene Wilder.
They did, in fact, offer him the role.
Yeah?
And he said, no thank you. Or at the very least, he was considered.
Yeah. He has the same hair as...
It's true. He would have done a great job. And not that Eric Idle doesn't do a good job.
Yeah.
But Gene Wilder would just be fun.
Yeah. He's the best. Anyway, a priest has arrived to help.
Yeah. And it definitely, I mean, from the moment that we see him, because it's like, we see him from the back at first, and then we see him from the front, and I was like, okay, I don't recognize this man, but I feel like parents are supposed to recognize this man.
Yeah, he was definitely put in as, like, a reference to something, and you can tell even if you don't know what the reference is.
Exactly, yeah. And he was, it turns out. It's Don Novello, who had a running character on SNL called Father Guido Sarducci, who sounded just like this, and was just, like, kind of silly, and would show up on the Weekend Update sometimes.
Yep, and we will put a clip in the show notes, because it's pretty funny.
Yeah. But he's really cute. He's got this giant cross necklace around his neck. And they're like, all right, so you feel like you can do this? Do you feel good? And he's like, yeah, I'm feeling really good. Like, I don't personally have any experience.
I don't have any experience doing exorcisms, but, like, I've talked to people, I've read the books, I've watched the videos.
Right. He's feeling, I feel pretty confident in my ability.
No problem. Piece of cake. Piece of crumb cake.
It's a piece of crumb cake. He's cute. I like him.
I do too.
And then he walks into the house, and he's in there for only a few moments. And then he comes back out, and he's just covered in ghost vomit. And also his head's on backwards.
Yeah.
Like, it's still attached to him. He's just facing the wrong way.
Yeah. And they would like to know how it went.
Yeah. And he says, oh, it's no problem. Piece of cake. And then he just walks off with his head on backwards.
Then he just leaves. Hopefully,
so I guess he's just like that now.
Going to the chiropractor.
Yeah, he's got to find a really good one.
Yep. Next, we see Dan Aykroyd.
Mm-hmm.
Dressed as his character from Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Ray Stantz.
Yeah.
Stantz. Yeah. It just
Stantz.
Felt weird.
Yeah.
But he comes running out of the house and says, who are you gonna call? Someone else.
Yep.
I didn't know that they did house calls by themselves.
Yeah. Where the rest of the guys were busy.
I guess. Just and they went all the way up to Maine.
Yeah. Where are they normally? New York?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's just like a cute reference, but that's not practical.
It's not practical, and you're telling me that the Ghostbusters can't handle... They're just ghosts. They're just like regular ghosts.
They handled the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't take these ghosts?
They get sucked up into a vacuum cleaner later.
Yeah! Anyway. Dibs is like, alright, well, what are you going to do now? And Kerrigan says, what I do anytime something stands in my way.
Which is what?
She's gonna knock it down.
Knock it down, baby!
She's gonna smash it. So we see there's like a big concrete like swan statue in front of it, and somebody drops a wrecking ball on it, and then we pan out and we see that there's like a lot of construction type things happening. There's dudes crawling all over this house. Which, all of these things that she does have got to cost money.
Yeah.
So...
She has money. She just wants more.
I know, but...
And she has this lawyer following her around who charges by the hour.
Yeah, he's gotta. I don't know. You gotta spend money to make money, I guess. But it's just a lot of time and money and effort spent for a treasure that she does not know if it's actually in there or what it is.
Or how much it's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. But the construction workers they go into the house.
Mm-hmm.
And then they run screaming from the house.
Yep.
And they pile into their trucks and they leave.
Yeah, Kerrigan yells at them. She's like, "You're sweaty construction manly types, get back in there."
Yeah.
They are gone. Like,
Casper,
they're like hanging onto the front of trucks and everything. Like, didn't even bother to get in.
Yeah. But Casper chases them.
Yeah.
And just says, "Wait, they didn't mean it, honestly."
I know.
Poor guy, all he wants is a friend.
I know.
But everybody leaves him.
Poor little boy. So, then we see Casper sitting very sadly in an armchair watching TV. So I guess the electricity is on in this house that she was trying to knock over.
I guess.
And he's watching Mr. Rogers, and Mr. Rogers is saying, hopefully, most of the time you're content with being yourself.
No.
But Casper's like, well, that's a bummer. So he changes the channel, and then we see a Looney Tunes cartoon where Granny is like, sees a ghost and is screaming about it. And he's like, boring. So he changes the channel again. We get to a news story on, what's the show called? Hard Copy?
Yeah.
Or something like that?
Yeah. Is that still a show?
I don't know. But it's very interesting because they've just finished up a story about the Pentagon Playboys.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay.
Sounds like a weird band name.
And now they're talking about a story about a man named James Harvey.
About a man.
Who's a ghost therapist. Are you depressed? Are you lonely? Do you need someone to talk to? Look no further than Dr. James Harvey, therapist to the dead. And we cut over to him and he says, "You can say dead, I prefer living impaired."
God. Yeah, and then we see Bill Pullman's adorable Dr. Harvey face.
I know, his sweet little face and his little haircut and his glasses. He's just so cute and kind looking.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and he says, ghosts are just like us. They need someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And through the news story, we learn that his wife had died unexpectedly, and since then, he gave up on conventional therapy and started communicating with the dead.
Yeah. And then they proceed to dox the shit out of his young teenage daughter.
I know, it's so rude.
She says he, along with his loner daughter Kat, short for Kathy. None of this is, the adjective was not necessary.
No.
Her full name was not necessary.
Well, her name is Kathleen.
Yeah, that's
Nobody even calls her Kathy.
No.
It's rude.
I know. But they say they travel the country searching for ghosts to talk to.
Yeah. And then there's like a shot of them trying to interview her through a fence.
Yeah, outside of the school that she goes to.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, why don't you just flash her social security number up on the screen too? Like,
yeah, I know.
Hopefully no pervert is watching this and goes and stalks her at her school.
Right, and not, like, that's worst case scenario. Best case scenario, it's like her first day at school, because I think she says that. She's like, it's the first day, like, I'm sure there'll be a lot to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, now she's absolutely alienated from all of these kids, because there are reporters following her to school.
Yeah! And she's probably rattled. She's not going to be on the top of her game.
No.
This poor kid. Anyway. Because I'm like, I doubt she even agreed to be interviewed, which then we hear the interview with her, and she's like, can you just leave me alone, please?
Yeah.
Because they're like, do you want to talk about what your dad does? And she's like, no, I don't. It's the first day of school. I would just like to go to school. Thanks, bye. But Casper is watching this, and he's just immediately enamored. He's like, how do I get this girl to my house? And then he says, Kerrigan, and flies off.
Yeah.
And he travels through the TV cable.
Yeah.
To her hotel.
Yeah. Which is weird.
Yeah. Like your note says, I've thought that ghosts were, like, confined to a space, but he can go wherever he wants. It turns out they can all go wherever they want.
Yeah, they all leave the house.
Yeah.
At different times. Yeah, it's very strange.
And he, like, zaps his way into her TV and changes the channel to this news piece about Dr. Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, moves the TV around the room so that it follows her into the bathroom.
Yeah, she's walking around the hotel room talking on her phone.
Yeah. And she, like, gets put on hold, so she turns back around and the TV is just, like, blocking her. It's in the doorway and blocking her in the bathroom, and she, like, looks around to see if anybody's there. But then, since she's just standing there on hold, she, like, starts watching it.
Yeah.
And this guy is saying, yeah, I talk to dead people, I get rid of ghosts. Then they get, like, a testimonial from this old lady who's like, my husband Harry died, and he didn't leave the house for 5 years, and then Dr. Harvey came, and now he's gone.
Yep.
So she's like, okay.
Yeah.
So since she's still on the phone, she's like, get me Santa Fe.
Right, I mean, she was willing to knock the entire house down. Like, trying a ghost therapist is not that big of a stretch.
Yeah, you still got a house that you can sell afterwards.
Yeah.
So, might as well give it a shot.
Back to Dr. Harvey and his loner daughter.
Yeah.
They are in their station wagon, heading towards Maine, we presume.
Yeah, I guess. This next scene, doesn't make any sense
it's really
to me,
confusing.
and I'll have questions at the end.
Yeah, Dr. Harvey's singing along to the radio very, animated and excitedly, and Kat is not having it and, turns the radio off.
Yeah.
He tries to apologize to her about them having to move again, but she's like, Dad, in 2 years I have been to 9 different schools.
Yeah.
I would really like to be able to make a friend.
Insane. I feel like if this is his goal, if this is the way that he's going to be doing things, he should just homeschool her.
Yeah.
Instead of registering her in schools, and then yanking her out of the schools, he knows that they're going to be on the road until he finds what he's looking for. So, stop doing that.
I know.
I guess he doesn't have time to homeschool her.
If you're doing short visits, you don't have to move to a place to talk to a ghost. You can just be like, okay, I'll be here for a week.
Yeah.
And
but she has to, where does she?
I'm sure they have family wherever they're from.
Yeah. You'd think.
But anyway, that's not what they're doing. They're driving across the country.
Yeah.
But she says, I would really like to make a friend. And she also says, maybe you should make some friends, Dad.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a single guy. You're more likely to become a bank hostage than make friends at your age.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cat.
He's like,
oh, you sound just like your mother. And she says, you're not going to find her. Which I thought was very mean. Just the way that she says it. I was just like...
It's very abrupt. And
ouch,
she's,
dude.
She's a frustrated teenager, but yeah.
I know, but I don't know.
She's like, Mom's not a ghost, Dad.
Yeah.
And Dad says, oh yes, she is. She has unfinished business.
Mm-hmm.
And Kat says, there's no such thing as ghosts.
I know. And he pulls off to the side of the road, which I thought he was going to pull off and be like, ghosts are real! But he pulls off to the side of the road to make a deal.
Yeah, you cannot make deals and drive.
No.
You always pull over for important ultimatums.
Absolutely. Safety first.
Yes.
He says, if I don't find what I'm looking for this time, I'll give it up, and we can just be normal people again.
Yeah. And she's like, do you mean that?
Yeah, for real?
Yeah.
He's like, for true. I promise that we can do this. This is it.
He says, if it doesn't work this time, we can just be normal people again. And Kat says, big if true. And Dad says, for true.
For true. She's like, alright.
And they pinky promise.
And then they head back out on the road. I just have a couple questions about this scene, because the way he phrases it is so weird. He says, you go with me on this one.
Right.
And I guess he means, emotionally, because I'm like, she doesn't have a choice to physically go with you or not.
Yeah.
You're driving her. You're packed up all her stuff.
Yeah, I do think
doesn't
that
have,
he means,
be along with me, support me.
Yeah, help me out with this.
Yeah.
Keep an open mind.
Yeah.
Let me prove to you that it's, a worthy thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then also, because he says, maybe you'll make friends where we're going, maybe I'll make friends. I mean, after all, we're going to Friendship, Maine. So we already know that that's their destination. Mm-hmm. But then they pinky promise and they get back on the road and then they get 30 feet and he has to turn the car around.
Yeah.
But we also see the sign for Los Angeles, so I'm like, was he just going in the wrong direction? And when he saw the sign, he was like, shit, Maine is the opposite direction.
I guess.
They don't say anything about it.
Because they were in Santa Fe.
Yeah. So was he just going west? I guess. If you're in Santa Fe, at least for a while, you can just go east and you'll be heading towards Maine. It's not...
Yeah.
You can go a couple states over before you're like, all right, now we should kind of pay attention to where we're going. But northeast is a pretty good bet.
Yeah. It's I don't see Friendship, Maine on any of these signs. Don't know where I'm going.
I just don't understand.
How do we get there?
Why? It just... If
they
had
have
just
an app on my phone.
Included...
Yeah, the turning around was what was confusing.
Yeah, and all they needed was a little voiceover of her dad being like, hey, if we're going to Maine, we should probably go the opposite direction. He's like, you're right, or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. Either way, they have finally arrived in Maine at Whipstaff Manor.
Whipstaff went his whippy tail.
It's ugly.
Yeah, they pull up and he says, hey, it's not so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, if you're Stephen King.
Mm-hmm. Stephen King already has a house in Maine, thank you.
Probably more than one.
Several houses. He doesn't need...
Stephen King owns Maine. Stephen is the king of Maine.
Maine is not real. It's just something Stephen King made up for lore.
Kerrigan and Dibs have also shown up.
Yeah.
And they introduce themselves in the strangest way.
Yeah, I don't get it. Dibs introduces, because Kerrigan's like, "Hi, I'm Kerrigan Crittenden." And that's Dibs. And he says, "Yes, I'm her close personal friend." And they're all just like,
"Okay.
We don't care what your relationship to each other is."
Yeah, I don't need to know.
So then Kat says, "I'm Kat, his close personal daughter."
Mm-hmm.
Which I did think was funny.
It was funny. But then Kerrigan grabs her face.
Yeah.
It's really weird. It's like the two of them are addressing the two of them.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, Kerrigan and Dibs, like, hone in on Kat.
Yes, like physically. Like
while.
they're standing in front of her.
And then, like, grabbing her face.
Yeah. Kerrigan, like, grabs her chin from underneath with her hand and, like, squishes her face a little bit. And it's just like, "Kat, it's so nice to meet you. We're so glad you came all the way." And then Dibs, like, grabs Kerrigan's hand and moves Kat's face towards him. And is, like, very glad. And they just keep, like, doing this back and forth. And Kat's like, "You're kind of hurting my face."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh." And they let her go. And then they go to talk to Dr. Harvey again.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
I know. They seem like they have, like, another motivation for wanting her there.
Yeah.
Like, that's what this is sort of feeling like, but they don't.
Yeah. Yeah, like, "Oh, thank God there's a teen girl here because blah, 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 blah." But, like, no, they don't.
Mm-mm.
And they're not upset
weird
that she's there either.
Nope.
So I don't get it. But...
And it just seems really out of Kerrigan's personality to even acknowledge, like, a teenage girl.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Unless she was upset about it. If she was like, "Oh, your kid's here too, I didn't know that." But she doesn't seem to be. She knows that he has a kid because it was on the news piece that she watched. It just, none of it makes any sense.
No. But anyway.
But so Kerrigan wants to know how long it's going to take for Dr. Harvey to work his magic. She's like, "You just go in there and spray, and then they leave, right?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, I mean, I'm a psychiatrist. Like, I'm, psychological evaluations and therapy can take, weeks or years."
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, "No, years is out of the fucking question."
Absolutely not.
Like, days, of course. Weeks, sure. Months, no. Years? Get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't have years.
No. I need my treasure.
Right. So, she's just like, "Get in there and get to work. Here are some flowers. Goodbye."
Yeah. They're really nice flowers.
They are. That too. I don't understand why she did this thoughtful thing, but then she yells at Dibs about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand her.
But she also she withholds payment.
Yeah.
She has a check written, but then she doesn't give it to him.
Yeah.
But she doesn't say, "I'm not giving this to you." She just doesn't give it to him. She takes it, she walks away, and she's like, "Get to work, bye." Anyway,
inside the house.
Mm-hmm.
It's big and empty and creepy, like we have said before.
Yes.
But this time we get, like, a more bird's eye view of the room.
Mm-hmm.
And I was right.
Yeah.
There's a big spiral pattern on that floor.
Yeah.
In the front room. And I don't know why that information was still stored in my brain.
Yeah.
But I had not forgotten it.
It's very strange. Did you know they also used this house for the Backstreet Back, the Backstreet Boys, Backstreet's Back, all right, everybody music video? Yeah.
Was the floor like that?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I remember.
Oh, maybe. Because you saw it some more.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the big, like, dance scene with, like, all of them is in this room.
Hey, audience, do yourselves a favor. Go back and watch that music video.
Oh, it slaps. You know what? We'll link it for you. We'll make it really easy for you.
It really does slap, but it is also weird as shit.
Yeah,
like,
it's so unnecessary.
Shows to spend money on.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But it still kind of rules.
It's not a spooky song, so it's weird, because they're all, like, dressed as different monsters. Mm-hmm. And then there's also, like, weird distortion things happening to the, like, camera lens.
Uh-huh.
And then they're just in a big creepy house.
Yeah. This one, in fact.
This creepy house, yeah. Yeah, we'll link it. Go watch it. I hadn't seen it. Because when I was a kid, I didn't grow up with cable, and so I forgot that music videos existed. So I have not seen most music videos.
I haven't either.
And people be like, "Oh, the music video." I'm like, "Oh yeah, people make videos to go with their songs." I forget about it all the time.
Yeah.
And so I hadn't seen this one until I was, I don't know, 2 years ago? Like,
nice.
Very recently.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
It's ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous,
Kat
and James have turned the lights on, even though they were kind of already on.
Oh yeah.
Because Casper was watching TV.
Yeah.
But in the scene, we learn that Kat knows how to fix things, and James does not.
Right.
She's like, "Oh, we need this thing," and her dad's like, "Oh yeah, that definitely is what we need."
Yeah, I guess she put pennies in the fuse box.
Yeah.
Because she's like, pennies will hold for now, but we should get some 20 amps in the morning. And
Right.
he's like, yeah, 20 should be good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So Kat takes off after this to explore the house and find a bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
First she finds a room with 3 beds that are engraved on the headboards.
Yeah.
They say, Stretch, Fatso, and Stinky.
Yeah.
And she says, man, they had cruel parents.
Yeah. Wonder where Dopey and Sleepy live.
Also, that house is humongous.
Yeah.
Why did the 3 of them have to share a room?
They didn't have to. They wanted to, because they're bros. Best friends forever. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. They could definitely all have their own bedroom.
The house is so big.
I mean, the only reason is so that she doesn't have to open 3 different doors and turn on 3 different lights and see their beds.
I
but
guess.
like, yeah, why do they even need beds? It doesn't make sense.
Well, they don't need beds now, but they did when they were alive. And it implies that those were their beds when they were alive.
Going by the name Fatso or Stinky as an alive person.
I know, that's
to
what
the
I'm
point where
saying.
you carve it into your headboard.
Yeah.
Stretch is fine.
Sure.
But like, the other 2?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
I don't either. Anyway, she does not choose that room for her room. She goes and finds another one.
Yeah, she only needs the 1 bed.
And she lays on the bed, and Casper is in the closet, and he says, there's a girl, and she's on my bed.
Yeah, he's just like freaking out. He's like, I did it. I got her here. I got her to my house. What if she likes me? What if she doesn't like me?
Yeah. That's fair.
Yikes. Yeah.
So James comes in her room, helps her unpack for a little bit, and by unpack, I mean he takes like 2 things out of a box, and then he's like, okay, bye.
Yeah, he takes out a picture of her mom, and he makes the weirdest noise at it, which I'm like, did you not expect it to be in there? Right. Anyway, but so she's like, oh, mom goes over here, and she puts the picture on her nightstand, and then he says, hey, what if I help you unpack? And he takes 1 doll out of this box, and she's like, what's the point? We're just going to move again in 2 weeks, which kind of hurts his feelings. But she's like, I'm just kidding, Dad. This place, it's fine, it's fine.
But they have to move in 2 weeks because Kerrigan told them that this could only take weeks.
Yeah, and this isn't their house.
Yeah.
So
they're just staying there while he does this job.
Yeah.
So they are going to have to move.
Yeah.
Anyway, he calls her Bucket.
Yeah.
And then leaves the room.
Yeah.
That's my name.
I know.
And my snake's name.
Yeah.
Weird. Actually, is my snake a junior? Since he's named after me?
Is his name Bucket Snake?
Yeah.
Then yes.
I haven't thought of a middle name for him, so yeah, his middle name's Snake.
Bucket Snake. Junior. But yeah, so then he leaves. Which, real helpful, Dad.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think she's doing a pretty good job making the best of it. She's entitled to being a whiny little teen. She just wants friends. Yeah, damn it.
We've seen way shittier teens in movies from the 90s.
In way better circumstances.
Yeah, she's doing fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's lost her mom.
Yeah.
She's moved around the country for the last 2 years.
Sarah Williams from The Labyrinth.
Yes.
It's just Labyrinth. Could take a cue from this girl, okay?
Yeah.
She gets yanked around the country and her mom's dead, and she's like, hey, it's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Whereas your parents are, well,
your dad
parents
and
are both alive.
Yeah.
And your stepmom is fine.
And your house is
And your house is huge.
Yeah.
And in one place.
You're fine.
Anyway.
Huff.
Huff.
Yes, she's doing great.
Mm-hmm.
She puts her sleeping bag on the bed and tries to lay down for a bit. As she is going to lay down, Casper is trying to approach, but then she lays on him.
Yeah.
And he turns into a pillow.
Yeah. I couldn't tell if it was intentional or not. It would be, I hope it's not, because it would be a weird,
I think he was just, going to approach her to say hi, and then she laid back at the same time.
Yeah, he just becomes pillow-shaped.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's trying to fluff this pillow, and she's punching it and just punching Casper in the face.
Yeah.
But I'm does she not remember
that she didn't
putting a pillow down?
There?
And she's just oh, this pillow that I didn't have 2 seconds ago is lumpy. I don't know. But
this ghost pillow.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Not sure how old she's supposed to be. Do they ever say?
They don't.
Because I did look up that she was 15 when they were filming this. Yeah. And I think she looks 15.
Yeah.
But
then they say that Casper is 12 later.
Yeah, I know. But he doesn't look 12.
No.
But also, she said that she's in junior high, which can be such a range.
Yeah, when I was in middle school, it was only 7th and 8th grade.
Yeah, mine was 6th, 7th, and 8th.
My mom's middle school was 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Because from the 6th grade to the 9th grade is like you're such a different person.
Yeah, from 12 to 15.
Yeah.
Is a big difference.
And having those, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. But anyway, she cannot get comfortable, so she gets up and she starts to unpack some clothes. Casper is thinking about how to approach her, kind of working on what to say, when he's like coming up behind her and she tosses a sock behind her and it goes into his mouth.
Yeah.
And he goes, whoop, and spits it out and hits her in the back of the head with it.
Yeah. She like freezes and then very slowly stands up. He also freezes. He's just like, ah, shit. So she stands up, slowly turns around, and he says hi, and she faints. And he's like, damn it! I blew it! Terrible first impression! So he flies into the bathroom and, like, puts himself in the sink and turns the tap on, and then, like, it's so gross at first. I hate, like, old pipe water.
Yeah, the water is, like, brown.
Rusty. Yeah, because, I mean, who knows the last time it got turned on. But anyway, he bangs on it, and then it's fine.
Yeah.
But so he fills himself with water, he flies back into the room and, like, wrings himself out like a dishcloth onto her face, which I'm like, that's gross even if the water is clean.
Yeah.
That's
a lot.
It would have been...
a lot of water, too.
Yeah.
Like, getting waterboarded.
I feel like it would have been better if he'd, like, turned his hands into, like, a little bucket or, like, a cup or something, but just, like, wringing his body out onto her face. It's just kind of weird. Anyway, she wakes up and he's like, do you feel better? And she screams.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, she would have done great in Jurassic Park.
Right? That was a great scream.
Because it's a great scream.
That made me think of, I wonder how many actresses didn't get that part and went home and practiced screaming and it, like, benefited their career.
Yeah. Maybe that's what happened here. She was like, Steven Spielberg doesn't think I can scream well enough.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do a good job.
I gotta work on my screams.
Right.
For the man.
So her dad comes running in when he hears her scream and tries to calm her down, but she's like, Dad, I saw a ghost for real.
Yeah.
I know I thought you were crazy, but I saw one and it was white and it was see-through and it had a big head. And he's just like, okay. Yeah. Calm down. I believe you. But ghosts can't hurt you.
Right.
You know, they're just here because they have something to do.
Yeah, they're just spirits with unfinished business. So
they just gotta fill out their to-do list.
Right. They left one thing unsigned, and now they gotta go find it.
Yeah.
But so he's, like, looking around her room. He's like, we'll look together. It's fine. You know, he opens her door. He's like, look, no ghost in here. Looks under the bed. Look, there's no ghost in here. Opens I guess it's the closet door. Yeah. I don't know. The layouts of these rooms are, like, really weird. I can't quite tell it looks like a closet.
Yeah.
So he opens the closet door, and he's like, see? No ghost in here, even though Casper is definitely just in there.
Yep.
He says, it's a pleasure to meet you, sir. And James nods at him, and then screams, and then slams the door.
Yep.
And then he picks Kat up, and he's just, like, running through the halls with her.
Yeah.
Like, hoisted over his shoulder, and he keeps, like, turning around, and it's like,
she's
her
like,
hair
Dad,
goes whoosh.
Dad, put me down. Dad, I can walk. Dad, this is weird.
It's so funny.
It is really funny. Bill Pullman is so adorable in this movie,
He really is.
Even his just, like, surprised scream face when he saw Casper, I was like, aw.
Yeah.
He's doing a good job.
He's a cute dad.
Yeah. But, yeah, so they run into a closet and close the door.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, stay here no matter what you hear.
Yeah.
And then he leaves her in
She's
there.
like, oh, okay. And as he's leaving, she's like, Dad, wait. I'm sorry. He's like, for what? She says, for not believing you. For thinking you were a total loser. He's like, oh, honey, apologize later.
Yeah.
And then he leaves. And then we see Casper, who is just so mad at himself.
Yeah.
He's just like, I blew it.
But then he immediately hears some commotion outside.
Yeah.
And the other 3 ghosts have appeared.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, are they annoying.
They really are.
And they're very mean to Casper.
Just awful. I know. Why does he stick around?
I mean, obviously he can leave, so I don't know.
I know. I mean, it's his house, I guess, but it's also their house. I don't understand, and it never explains their dynamic.
Nope.
Are they actually his uncles?
Or are they just also ghosts that are there?
Yeah. It's just weird.
I don't know.
I don't get it. But they're mean.
Yep.
And he should leave. Who cares if it's your house? You don't remember anything about your life before anyway.
Right. Why
just
do you
go.
feel tied to this house? You don't even,
Yeah.
have memories there.
Yeah. So, they're super rude to him. Like, he says, I guess they were at Belmont, terrorizing the horses.
Yeah.
And he says, did you have fun? And Stinky says, on a scale of 10 to 1, 10 being fun, and 1 being you, yeah, we had fun. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yes, a perfect 5 out of 7.
Yeah. It doesn't answer the question at all.
No, but they start calling him names and asking him why he's not doing his chores.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, listen, I'll get right on it. Also, let me go ahead and get dinner started. You guys just stay out here. Just enjoy the weather. It's, really nice out here. We can eat al fresco.
Yeah, Fatso says, that sounds great. Who is that?
Al fresco.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Stretch is skeptical. Stretch says, say, short sheet, you wouldn't be trying to keep us out of the house, would you?
Mm-hmm. Casper's like, no. It's just so nice out here. I figured we could sit outside and eat under the harvest moon.
Mm.
And they're like, oh, harvest moon, eh? And so they all sing a song terribly about the harvest moon, and Stretch plays Casper like an accordion and then stretches him out and sends him rocketing up into the sky.
Yeah. So then they go inside.
Yeah, they open the front door for some reason.
It's just for the novelty.
Yeah, they enjoy
Sometimes they
opening
like to open
doors,
a door, you know?
but then they don't close the door.
Yeah, why would you?
Why would you open it? They opened it because it's so nice outside.
Yeah.
They're like, he's got a point.
Yeah.
We really got to let this
true.
breeze in here, take out some of this dust.
Air it out a bit, yeah. But they realize that Dr. Harvey is there.
Yes, because he's upstairs looking for Casper, and he is very nervous.
Very nervous.
He's just like, hello, hi, it's me. I would like to come into contact with you, but please don't jump out at me or scream at me. We're past all that, okay?
Right?
I'm here to help.
Can you deal with that?
Uh-huh.
And then the ghost trio says, can you?
Uh-huh.
And he turns around and they're big glowing eyes and big gnashing teeth, and then he faints immediately.
They look very scary.
Yeah.
I too would faint immediately.
Absolutely.
And they all possess him.
Possess sounds so much less aggressive than what they actually do, which is fly down his throat.
Yep.
And it's gross.
Yeah, they all yell, dive, 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 and jump into his open mouth.
And Fatso gets stuck for a second.
Uh-huh.
Blah.
Yeah, that makes me uncomfortable. So, this is where Mel Gibson goes.
Yeah, I guess.
Because we were looking at the cast beforehand, and I was like, when the hell is Mel Gibson in this movie? But so what happens is, he wakes back up, and he's like, oh, wow, that was nuts. Well, what just happened? And he walks into the bathroom to wash his face, and he looks in the mirror, and first he sees Clint Eastwood, who I'm assuming is quoting Dirty Harry, because he says, I'm gonna kill you, your mama, and all her bridge-playing friends.
Yeah, and then he turns into Rodney Dangerfield. Mm-hmm. You think you got it tough. I got a facelift. There was another one just like it underneath.
Ha 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 ha.
I'm losing to a rug.
And then he turns into Mel Gibson, who is just, like, handsome at himself. Like, he just wiggles his eyebrows at his own reflection.
I guess they could afford Mel Gibson, but not Mel Gibson talking?
Yeah. He was like, alright, if you want me to say anything. They're like, no, it's fine. $3 million.
And then he turns into the Crypt Keeper.
Ah!
I know, that's very scary.
This is one of those things that, like, I definitely didn't recognize any of these people as a child.
Right,
like, I was just like, those are some faces, I guess. I don't know what's happening. Like, I mean, the only thing I'd seen Mel Gibson in at this point is Pocahontas.
Which he is...
And you don't see his face.
Yeah, not physically in.
No.
So James backs up from the mirror because he's, scared himself, and he gets his foot stuck in a bucket. Oh. There I am again.
There you are again. Man, I didn't know you were in this movie.
Yeah, I'm uncredited. He tries to run, but because his foot's in a bucket, he, grabs the shower curtain where Fatso is showering for some reason.
Yeah, and then it's just, incensed that he, it's like, what? Why were you in there? You're a ghost. Anyway, they're just trying to freak him out, I guess.
Gotta clean your ectoplasm.
Yeah. But so he goes running down the hallway with his foot still in a bucket.
Yeah, Kat gets free of the closet for, half a second, but bounces off of Fatso and just goes back in.
Yeah.
And the door's stuck again.
Yeah. So then we see one of the ghosts is under, the hallway runner.
Yeah.
And is, coming towards him making train noises, and he's, freaking out, and then...
I remember being scared of this part when I was a kid.
Huh.
Just, the something under the rug and, the ominous noises was just, a lot.
Yeah, and the way that he's, looking at it. Which I'm like, it's not that... You could just step over it.
Right. But it's coming for him.
It's coming for him.
There could be anything under there. That's what's scarier.
That's true. But it's just stinky under there.
I know.
And then he pops out, and he says, "Smellogram," and blows his stinky breath into James's face.
Yes. Which, he falls down and rolls down the stairs, taking the rug with him.
Yeah. Rolls himself up like a burrito.
Sushi anyone? California roll, coming right up.
Yeah, they just have little quips every 10 seconds.
Yes, they do.
And so he gets to the bottom, and he unrolls.
Right.
And the ghost trio is there waiting with swords.
All for one and one for all.
And then Stretch sounding so much like, I don't know which one is the whiniest Beastie Boy, because they get whinier as they go.
Yeah.
But he's like, catch your pants before they fall! And I'm just like, this sounds like a Beastie Boys song. And I think that maybe they should have been voiced by the Beastie Boys.
That would have been great.
That would have been amazing.
Especially if, like, Beastie Boys sound effects came out of their mouths, like,
yeah!
Scroop.
Yeah. And then there could have been some songs in there about being a ghost.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This movie's not bad enough for a recast rewrite.
Yeah.
I think it's actually kind of great.
Yeah.
But
If we run out of other ones.
just a recast.
We'll do it.
But, like, everything can stay the same. Just put Jennifer Tilly and Gene Wilder and the Beastie Boys in it.
Yes, perfect.
Anyway, so they cut his belt and his pants fall off.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he goes running into the bathroom with his pants around his ankles
Mm-hmm.
and locks the door. But they chase after him. And they all stab their swords through the bathroom door around his head.
Yeah, he does the classic, like, close the door, lock it, and then lean up against it.
Yeah.
While he's trying to catch his breath, and then all the swords appear around him.
Yeah.
Ugh.
They could have killed him.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
No, and now he's ready to fight because he's got a plunger.
Yeah.
And he comes out and he sticks it on Stretch's face and, well, stretches him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't understand how that works because he's not, like, fixed in one spot. He's a ghost. He would just come with you.
Yeah, he's trying to fight it, maybe.
I guess.
Like, he's pulling back.
He's just making it worse. But, so Stretch goes flying, and then he sword fights with Stinky and Fatso up the stairs, and kind of tricks Stinky into stabbing Fatso with his umbrella, which
And
then
he,
opens.
Like, yeah, and he flies off like a balloon that just got popped. Like...
Yeah. And then I think he knocks Stinky out of the way, but then Stretch comes back and says, "Who do you think you are defiling our domicile?"
Dr. James Harvey, your therapist.
Yeah.
That's not what he sounds like.
No, but that was fun. And then Kat gets out of the closet again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right as Casper goes to help her out of the closet, and right as he opens it, she, like, puts her shoulder into it and gets the door open, so she goes flying out, and she, like, squishes onto him. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then she screams, again.
Mm-hmm.
And then she heads downstairs to find her dad sword fighting with all of the ghosts.
Right.
There's so many staircases in this house. I love a house that has a staircase that goes, like, more than one staircase to the same floor.
Yeah.
But they're, like... Yeah, I guess the upstairs hallway is so long that there's, like, a staircase on either side, and they both come down on either side of the... It's cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. But yeah, Dr. Harvey gets to the top of the stairs, but Stinky knocks him down again with his breath.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets back up, and he starts sucking them all up with a vacuum cleaner.
Yes.
And I would like to say, I love all of the slapstick in this sequence. It's not too overdone, but it's funny.
Yeah.
And B, I distinctly remember my mom being upset that Fatso said, "This sucks," as he got sucked into the vacuum.
Yeah.
Because saying something sucked was like the worst thing you could ever say around my mom for some reason.
That's weird.
Like, there are other smaller, like, curse words in this movie.
Yeah.
But she was only ever mad about, "This sucks."
Huh.
Anytime I would say something sucked, my mom would be like, "What does it suck?" They're like, "Not like that." Also, I'm 8 years old. Like, stop.
Right? You're making me think about it like that.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It just sucks. It's just a thing I heard.
Yeah. It's bad.
It's butt cheeks.
It is butt cheeks, Toads.
But, so Kat runs up to him to ask if he's okay, and he's like, yeah, fine, great. Why don't we go regroup?
Yeah.
And then they, like, walk away, and he leaves the ghosts in the vacuum cleaner, but I'm like, why can they not just get out?
They do eventually.
I know.
But they just, stay in there for too long.
They're in there elbowing each other in the face, and then we get this very weird exchange where Stretch says, "Who let one?" And Fatso's like, "Who do you think?" And then Stinky says, "Who's got their pointy head in my..." And Fatso interrupts him to say, "That's not my head." And I'm like, is that a ghost boner joke?
My pants are haunted! Did you ever watch The Venture Brothers?
Yeah.
One of the boys, like, gets a boner and doesn't understand it, but he thinks there's a ghost in his pants, and he's, like, running around going, "My pants are haunted! My pants are haunted!"
Dean?
Yeah.
Dean and...
I can't remember. It's been so long. I watched all the first seasons as they were coming out, but it's been forever. But I do remember
him it's the I imagine
around.
It's the blonde one, because he's the stupid one.
Yeah.
I think his
They're
name's
both
Dean.
Stupid.
They are, but he's, like, the way stupider one.
Yeah.
The other brother's like, Dean?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sam.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, so there's a ghost boner joke, and it's fine. He's like, fellas, we're never this close anymore. Like, you share a bedroom.
Well, Kat has opened a door.
Mm-hmm.
With a little dust devil.
Yeah.
First, and she makes her way into the large kitchen, which looks very nice.
It does.
Yeah.
And
Casper...
not gross.
No, it's very clean. Casper pops up and says, "Good morning."
Mm-hmm.
And she goes to scream.
Yeah.
But he, like, wraps himself around her face to keep her from screaming. And he just says, "Hi, don't scream. Yes, I am a ghost, but I'm a friendly ghost. Don't be afraid. I won't hurt you. But if you scream, you'll wake up my uncles and they aren't fun."
Uh-huh.
He says it really fast.
Yeah. It's just like, please, 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 please. Like, I get it. I know. I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm cool.
I wish he had done this before.
Be cool.
But I understand why he didn't.
Yeah. I mean, wrapping yourself around someone's face. Kind of last resort. Yeah. He's like, listen, please.
Yeah, but she nods, so he, like, unwraps himself.
Yeah.
And she says, "You're so cold," and
I
touches her
know.
face.
It's cute. And then she follows him over to the big old dining table, and he, like, pulls out a chair, and she just ignores it and said it's in a different chair.
Yeah.
Which I was like, rude.
Maybe she
Kathleen.
thought he was pulling it out for himself.
Maybe so. But she says, "I can see right through you." And he's like, "Yeah, that's kind of what happens when you don't have any skin."
Yep.
And she wants to know what he's made out of.
Yeah.
And he says, "You know the tingling feeling when your foot falls asleep? I think I'm made of that."
Yeah.
Does he feel like that all the time?
I don't know. It's
That would be
uncomfortable, yeah.
Yeah. I hate that.
But we hear a ding,
Mhm.
and Casper puts on a chef hat.
Yes. Which I had to go and Google. It's called a toque.
Ah.
Which is actually an Arabic word for hat.
Inhaling weed.
Toque.
Oh, right.
It just means hat.
Yeah.
It's just a hat.
Cool.
But I did learn a lot about toques, which is like the taller that they are,
Uh-huh.
the more status you have in a kitchen.
It just seems inconvenient, though.
I know.
Like, doesn't it get floppy at a point?
Well, they were talking about this one, like, French chef who was, like, considered himself such a good chef. He had an 18-inch tall hat that was supported with, like, tiny wooden pieces so that it wouldn't flop over. And also,
they add an inch every Michelin star you get.
Yes. The more, like, pleats it has in it, the more, like, techniques you've mastered.
Oh.
They don't do that anymore. But
Yeah.
that's the way it used to be. So if you saw a guy with, like, a really tall, very pleated hat, it was, like, really good at a lot of things.
What if it was very tall but only had one pleat? It's very good at one thing.
Yeah. Incredibly good.
So, pleats are like chef's Boy Scout badges.
Yes.
Right.
They should write along the pleat what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Poached eggs. Or whatever.
Those are hard.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yes.
he's making breakfast. And I have questions again.
Yes, let's hear them.
Because we see this giant basket of eggs. And the ding that we heard was this machine. It's like this giant Rube Goldberg machine that is making breakfast.
Yep.
Kind of. Like, it's cracking the eggs. But he's already got, like, hash browns made and bacon made, and there are pancakes, like, in a pan.
Yeah.
So is the machine just cracking eggs? Anyway, basically, my question is, what the fuck was with the 90s and all these complicated-ass Rube Goldberg machines that make breakfast? This is the third time
I know.
that we have encountered.
I know, and it's always something, like, morning-specific.
Yeah.
Like, machinery to do morning tasks.
Yeah.
It's never anything else.
No. Well, it's making... I mean, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Flubber and this one, they all made breakfast.
But even the other things that we have seen, like, in Little Monsters, he has a thing for his alarm that is complicated, which is a morning thing.
Oh, yeah.
Later in the movie, he has the Up and Atom machine, which is to get ready in the morning. Like, they're all morning-related
I know.
things.
I know.
It's really weird.
I don't get it.
I don't either. The mornings were harder in the 90s.
Yes.
I guess.
But then also, my other question is, where did all those eggs come from?
Oh, the ghost chickens.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, silly me.
They had unfinished business. It was to lay eggs.
They had unlaid eggs when they died. I mean, even if they went grocery shopping, this is...
Too many eggs.
50 eggs in a pile, in a basket.
They're gonna go bad.
Yeah. Anyway, he's frying eggs. Kat says, "Oh, I don't like my eggs sunny side up. They make me yak."
Yeah.
So he turns his hand into like a little fork and scrambles them in the pan.
The noise that it makes made me like, ooh, for a second.
Really?
Yeah. It was like, no one else in this room has listened. Well, maybe you've heard because it's Cody Johnson.
Yeah.
The way that he makes the going back in time sound effect is what it sounded like. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Anytime he's, like, on a show where they're talking about going back in time, or, like, a time that happened, you know, previously, he'll be like, ooh, let's get in the time machine, and he'll go...
I did recently listen to Behind the Bastards, and they were doing that. I don't know if they were making fun of him.
Yes,
or,
probably.
Yeah, because he was just like...
Ah!
It's really gross.
I hate it. That's the sound of a time machine and also scrambling an egg.
I guess so.
In case you were curious.
Yeah. Well, now they're edible, at least. If the sound hasn't put her off, at least she can eat them from looking at them.
Yeah.
But then he's also making pancakes and flipping them. And he's doing all of this with, like, wiggly eyebrows at
I know,
her,
everything that he
so
does.
Suave. He's like, huh?
He turns and looks at her to be like, see? I'm good at things.
And then he pours some orange juice. He picks up a big carafe of orange juice, holds his hand over a glass, pours the orange juice through his hand. Mm-hmm. The juice goes through, but the pulp does not.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, that's cool, that he can, like, selectively choose which things pass through him and which don't.
Right, because he's obviously holding the carafe, so he's got a full grip of that.
Yeah, but the juice goes through his hand.
Right.
But the pulp doesn't. He uses his hand as a strainer.
Yeah.
But then he flings all this orange juice pulp up against the wall.
I know, and the whole kitchen is so clean, and he's been doing everything so precisely, and then he just, like...
He just goes... Plah, and then looks at her like, eh? And I mean, like, I guess she doesn't have to clean it up, but what?
Yeah.
Also, he was so worried about first impressions, and this ghost is smooth as fuck.
I know.
I mean, this is impressive.
Yeah.
Especially when you're, whatever, age.
104.
In your teens. No, I mean for Cat, you know, just like, oh man, look at this guy.
Making breakfast.
Making me breakfast.
Yeah, because as we learn later, Cat's probably just been eating french fries for breakfast for the last 2 years, so she's probably real excited about all this food.
Yeah.
But yeah, she would like to know, as he's doing all this, can you go invisible?
Mm-hmm.
And he says, haha, that one's easy.
Yeah. Flies over to her, goes to hand her the orange juice, and she seems reluctant, but I don't think it's about the juice.
No, it's because his hand is holding it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and he says, it's fresh.
Yeah. She's like, alright. So she, like, goes, she's like, I've never done this before. Can you hurt me? And he says, no. She says, can I hurt you? And he's like, no.
Yeah.
So they hold their hands out. And they go to very slowly high five. But then Casper's hand goes through Cat's hand.
Which I'm like, but he can touch things.
Yeah.
Did he just decide to go through her hand at this point?
Yeah, that's way more interesting.
I guess. But doesn't he want to touch her?
I mean, he probably can still feel it.
Yeah.
Would be my guess. But I mean, she's, you know, if they just like, pap, you can do that with anybody. That's not exciting.
Pap. But then James shows up.
Yeah.
Good morning, Dr. Harvey. Would you like some breakfast?
I know, he's such a friendly ghost. Oh, wow.
Well, that's why they...
That's the thing from... He weren't lying, is what I'm saying. That ghost do be friendly.
That ghost do be being friendly.
So Dr. Harvey sits down, and Casper serves them both.
Yes.
And then he offers to go get the paper for Dr. Harvey, whichever one he wants. You know, you want the New York Times? You want the Post? Like... I'll go get it.
Tokyo something?
Yeah.
The Tokyo Drift?
The Tokyo Drift, yes. The local paper for Tokyo.
So yeah, he flies away.
Uh-huh.
And they each have a plate of like 15 pancakes in front of them.
I know.
Plus eggs, plus bacon, plus orange juice.
Yeah, and there's like potatoes. The pancakes are not real.
Yeah.
They're computer generated.
Why?
I don't know. You made everything else except for the pancakes.
That's so weird.
It's super bizarre. I don't, maybe they forgot. They were like, we'll fix it in post. I don't know. The store was out of Bisquick. I just don't...
They could only get eggs.
No.
No other ingredients.
Why they would bother... I don't know. Maybe they were just like, we don't have to make pancakes. We could just... But then why would you make anything else? I truly don't get it.
Yeah, it's really strange.
But so he's like, well, I hope you're hungry.
Yeah.
Which is fair because, yeah, there's a mountain of pancakes in front of them.
I wonder if they were like, we will make a reasonable amount of pancakes, and then when they were putting in the computer generated ones, they were like, ha 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 ha. Just kept hitting like copy paste.
Add. Control V. Control P for pancake. Control P. Maybe.
Yes. But they're about to start eating when they hear helicopter noises.
Mm-hmm.
Bum ba da da da, bum ba da da da, bum ba da da, bum ba da da.
Yeah. And it gets like really windy in there, as though helicopters were landing. And then we see the ghost trio using their like head pointies. I don't know what you call them.
Yeah, they're head
ghosts
pointies.
are.
Yeah, they're pointy on top.
And then their tails as helicopters.
Yep.
And then they land. And Stretch says, I love the smell of fleshies in the morning.
Ugh.
But then a window screen opens on its own.
It just like pops open.
And they all start screaming and melting.
Yes.
Doing, like, the Wizard of Oz thing. Oh, what a world! What a world!
Yeah. And then they disappear through the floor.
They just disappear into puddles, and then they're gone, and James
says,
and Kat are, like, looking at them over the table.
They're gone. They
Yeah.
must have crossed over.
Yeah.
But then, suddenly, the rest of all of the shades pop open.
Right.
And then here come the ghosts again.
Yeah, they're, like, wearing sunglasses and doing the cool guy lean in the corner of the room, and they're like, haha, just kidding. What was the point?
Oh, just to prove that...
They can do whatever they want?
Yeah. Just to get their hopes up that they were gone, and then be like, haha, can't get rid of us that easily.
I feel like they haven't been that annoying yet. For it to be like, oh, you thought we were gone. Like, yeah, I also thought you were kind of cool. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, they did get in a sword fight.
Oh, that is true. So then Stretch yells for Casper, and Casper shows back up, and Stretch yells at him for serving the Harveys first. And he keeps getting bigger and bigger and louder, and he's like, give me my meal!
Yeah.
And so Casper's like, alright, damn. And he flies into a cupboard, and then comes back out holding 3 plates of, like, cake?
Yeah,
They
there's
just
like
look like Twinkies and yeah. Just a pile of junk food.
Mm-hmm.
And so they start eating very loudly and very messily, and I think I talked about this the top, where it's just like hitting the floor in a gross pile, and they're making gross noises.
Yeah, it's like they can chew it, but it doesn't stay in their bodies, and so it just like plops onto the floor.
Yeah.
And Casper is sweeping it up as it lands. Mm-hmm. And Stretch gets mad. He's like, this floor used to be dirty enough to eat off of.
Uh-huh.
But Casper's like, we have guests.
Right. Stretch is like, guessed this. Just turns his face into a giant sneaker and punts Casper.
Yeah, so mean.
So Kat stands up and yells at Stretch. He's like, what is your problem? He was just trying to help. And Stretch is like, it's my fucking house, dude. I don't need your bullshit. But Kat says,
piss off.
Piss off. I know. And he tells her to take a hike.
Yep. And she says, get a grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dr. Harvey is like, yeah, let's not antagonize the ghosts. And ushers her out the door. He's like, you're going to be late for school. Have a great day.
Yeah.
I know you'll have fun. Bye. Closes the door behind her.
She didn't eat nary a one of her 15 pancakes.
Well, it's because they weren't real.
Yeah.
She cannot. Nary a one. She yells drop dead at the ghosts, and one of them goes, too late!
Yes.
And then he turns around, and they're all staring at him, chewing very noisily.
Yeah, it's really gross.
And he's like, listen, fellas, we got off on the wrong foot, but let's talk about this. I know you shouldn't be here. You know you shouldn't be here. Finish your meal, and then meet me in my office, and we will talk through this. And we'll work on your unfinished business, and we'll work on the process of crossing you over.
Right.
What do you say?
Yeah. And so they all throw a bunch of chewed cake at him.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I think that's the implication of what it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't look... What hits him does not look the same as what is on the floor.
No. Because what hits him looks thoroughly chewed.
It looks like it was processed through a body.
Yes.
As in poop.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like poop. But he's just like, huh.
Yeah.
But he looks at his watch, and then he's like, well, it's your hour. I'm like, you gonna bill these ghosts?
I mean, somebody needs to pay him. Maybe
For
the
sure.
ghosts have money.
Maybe so.
So Kat is walking to school.
Mm-hmm.
She nearly gets run over by this blonde girl who tells her to watch it.
Yeah, super rude.
And she turns around and stares at her for a long time.
Yeah.
On the bike, and I really thought she was going to run into this telephone pole.
Yeah.
Because she's turned around for so long.
Yeah.
But
Watch
then,
where you're going.
after she goes by, a guy comes by. He has very 90s bangs and hair.
Yes.
He says, hey, Amber, wait up.
Uh-huh.
He smiles at Kat as he passes by.
Yeah. And then, like, looks back to smile again.
Does a double take.
Really cute. And she's like, oh, that cute boy just smiled at me a bunch.
Yeah.
So then she's in the school, and she's trying to open her locker, but she can't get it. She's wiggling, and an arm just kind of snakes over and bangs on it twice, and it pops open.
Yeah.
And then we see the arm belongs to the boy that we saw earlier, and he's like, I had that locker last year.
Yeah.
And she's just like, oh, hard eyes. Like, thank you so much. Mm-hmm. But then we see...
His name is... Does he introduce himself?
Yes.
Yeah, he says, my name is Vic, and she's like, hi, my name is Kat, you know.
Uh-huh.
But then Vic's bitchy girlfriend, I guess.
Yeah,
Amber,
I guess they're dating. I don't know. Again,
they're always together.
They're always together, and he's
Yeah.
like doing things for her even though he doesn't like it. And so...
He's growing into a real dibs.
Right. That is the mark of a true 90s hetero relationship.
Right.
Is that the dude doesn't want to be there.
Yeah. So, yeah, his bitchy girlfriend Amber from Two Lockers Over says, coming, Vic.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just like to say that Amber really needs a haircut.
Yeah.
Because the last 6 inches of her hair are just sad wisps.
Yeah.
They're the real ghosts in this story.
Yes.
You can hear the crispiness as she swooshes down the hallway.
Crunch, crunch, crunch. Maybe Dr. Harvey can work on that next.
We need to work on you crossing over. That's what I'm going to start saying to my clients. Crispy hair, split ends.
Yes, let's work on this. Your unfinished business. Snip, 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 snip.
I do joke with my clients who I've known for long enough to joke with about their ends getting crispy and being like, I've done all I can do.
Yeah.
Please let me go.
I gotta go.
Or I'll be like, I can hear your hair. It says... Help me.
Yikes.
Anyway,
I've never experienced that.
Yeah. In the classroom, the teacher explains that the gym is still dealing with the asbestos problem.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to push back the Halloween dance by a few months, which, A, it's cool that they're having a Halloween dance. I never had one of those.
Nope.
B, asbestos in the 90s.
Yeah.
Get it together.
Listen, they're dealing with it as best as they can. But so Amber stands up, and she's like, well, and she does a big flip with her hair, because she turns to address the class. She's like, as you know...
As you know...
My parents recently finished their new boathouse, so I'm sure it won't be a problem if we have it at my place. And I'm like, the whole school?
On your boathouse? Boathouses are not big.
No.
Yacht? Big. Boathouse? Not big.
Well, I don't think it's a houseboat. I think it's like a building for their boat.
Boathouse.
Yeah. And like maybe, because this is like seafront property, so they have their house, and then they have like another house that's like right on the water, maybe, where their boats go. Just because they have so much money, you see.
Oh, yeah.
Still, though, just the whole school. And then there's, like, a smattering of sad applause, and Vic looks, like, annoyed and
yeah, it's, like,
not
the
impressed.
Weirdest applause, too. Like,
yeah.
She comes off as the popular kid that thinks that she's popular, but really she has just bullied everyone into, like, putting up with her.
Yeah, I don't think any of these kids actually like her.
No.
She just has the most money, and so they hang out with her. Or they tolerate her because she's loud and a bully and
will
rich.
be mean, yeah.
Exactly. But the teacher's like, great! Because apparently he has no qualms about having a school function at a student's house without first verifying with her parents that it's okay.
Or verifying with any of the kids' parents.
Yeah. He's just like, oh, that's settled. On to our next, less important piece of business. The new kid. So he says, I'd like you all to meet Harvey Kathleen.
Which everybody thinks is funny.
Yeah, they all laugh.
And she, kind of stands up. And he says, would you like to say hi to everyone? So she has to walk to the front of the class. And Amber, under her breath is like, Harvey.
Right. It's more laughter.
And the teacher says, tell us all something special about yourself, Kathleen.
Yeah, so I don't understand why he called her Harvey Kathleen 2 seconds ago when he knows her name is Kathleen.
I mean, he clearly read it wrong, but then just, didn't correct himself.
Doesn't acknowledge. Yeah. Isn't like, oh, sorry, Kathleen Harvey. And it's not funny that everybody's like, haha, he called you Harvey. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Also,
whatever.
Did this ever happen to you when you were growing up?
I have never moved.
Not to you, but, do you remember a kid, ever having to introduce themselves when they moved to your school? Because I think it only happened on TV.
Just happens in the movies, yeah.
I never experienced this.
Yeah, being like, hello, everyone. I guess because they're coming in the middle of the year.
Even that, yeah.
I don't think it ever happened. There was just
it's just there's
they were just there.
New kid now.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Especially in a school where you, switch classes.
Right.
Like a junior high, you don't stay in the same classroom all day.
Right.
So
sometimes there's just a kid there.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just leave.
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't think
I think it's just a movie thing.
Just for added tension.
I guess. But anyway, she says, well, it's Cat.
Yeah, and then Amber's like, meow, and everyone
Shut
laughs
up,
again.
Amber. Jesus.
I know. Fucking leave this girl alone. Also, it's not funny. Her name is Cat. That's a very normal name.
Amber.
She just meowed. That's not a joke. These kids are thirsty for jokes.
Yeah. And poor Amber, when that 311 song comes out in a few years.
Whoa!
Is gonna regret every joke she ever made about someone's name.
Whoa!
So Kat tries to make a joke back. She says, friendship seems like a friendly place.
Yeah, someone says. Which I'm like, oh, that's not funny? Tough crowd.
But she's looking around as she's standing up there, and she sees Casper's head in the painting of Mount Rushmore.
Mm-hmm.
And while she's talking, Casper is tying everyone's shoelaces together.
Yeah. So then the teacher says, So, where are you guys living? Which is a weird fucking question
Yeah.
for a teacher to ask a child.
Why is everyone so up in this girl's business?
I don't know. I mean, I know that the point is so that she can say she lives at Whipstaff. But there
are so many other ways to get that into the conversation.
Right. Or just maybe wait a second. So, how are you liking friendship or whatever? Anything else you want to tell us about yourself? Yeah, I moved into this crazy old house. It's called Whipstaff Manor. It's just weird that he's going to ask her in front of everybody, like,
so where do you live?
Where do you live? Which, I mean, even if she doesn't give an exact location, it's going to talk about, like, her financial status, if they know the neighborhood, you know, like, where she... It's just a terrible and creepy question. But anyway, she says outer space, which everybody does think is funny.
Yeah.
So now she's got a good joke in. She's got the kids on her side.
Yeah.
And then she says, no, Whipstaff... And that quiets the whole room down immediately.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, you've heard of it.
And and someone says, you actually live there?
Mm-hmm. And Kat's like, yeah, I mean, it's not so bad. Once you get past the way that it looks, the fact that it's, like, super creepy. And Amber's like, yeah, if you drink blood. Ugh. But then some kid from the back just pipes up and says, hey, Teach.
Hey, Teach.
We don't have anywhere. He says the teacher's name, and I don't remember what it is. We don't have anywhere to have this party. This girl lives in a big, creepy house with room to spare, he says, presuming the size of her family. I mean, obviously she doesn't have 50 people in her family, but still, he's like, with room to spare. Sounds like a no-brainer. Let's just have the Halloween party at her house. This is not how things work.
No, not at all. No, you can't just decide that a school function will be held at someone else's house.
You just met this girl 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Amber gets upset about this. She pops back up to address the class again, which I'm like, didn't he just tie her shoelaces together? But it's fine, whatever.
I don't know if he made it to that part of the class yet.
Oh, okay. And she's like, hello, I thought we decided we were having the party at my place. Okay, fine. We'll take a vote. Whoever wants to have the party at my house, raise your hand.
And she doesn't really raise her own hand. She, like, sticks her hand out straight in front of herself so awkwardly.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you doing?
She can't lift her arms
No.
above her head. It's too much.
Right.
She has someone who does that for her.
And then the teacher says, Whipstaff?
Uh-huh.
Without asking Kat if it's okay.
Yeah.
Who has not asked her father or the person who owns the actual house.
Yeah, they don't even own that house. They're gonna have a whole school in it.
But all the hands go up.
For a second I was like...
Yeah, maybe it's just the one class, but
we
see later, the house is full.
So many people, and there are, like, other adults. And why is this guy in charge of where the Halloween party happens? It's just dumb. Anyway, the bell rings, and everybody gets up to leave, and they all fall on their face because all their shoelaces are tied together. Classic ghost prank. So now, Uncle Line Trio is waiting in Dr. Harvey's office.
That's so good. That's so funny.
Okay.
But yeah, they're just in there smashing shit.
Uh-huh.
Fatso pulls his degree from Johns Hopkins and just throws it.
Yeah.
Like using it as skeet for Stretch.
Pull!
Yeah, he pulls the picture of Amelia out of a box and goes to throw it, but James catches it and he says, not this one, thanks.
Yeah.
But they make some remarks about her.
Yeah.
They're like looking at her
what
picture.
A catch. Is she single?
Yeah, and James is like, no, she's my wife, and also she's dead. Mm-hmm. But Stretch catches on to this pretty quickly. He starts chiding Fatso for saying mean things about her.
Yeah.
He's like, don't say mean things about Amelia. She's never been anything but nice to you. Blah, blah, blah. And immediately James is like, wait, you've seen her?
Yeah.
And Stretch says, of course, who hasn't? She's the nicest lady around.
Yeah.
Why, you looking for her?
You're not looking for her, are you, Doc? He's like, that actually is not the point of this session. Not what we came here to talk about. None of your business. But since you brought it up, if, maybe, just curious, asking for a friend, is there any way that you can go find other ghosts and communicate with them?
JK, unless.
And they're like, well, yeah, man. He's like, yeah, that's what I thought. You can't do it. They're like, hang on. We'll make you a deal. Usually there's a lot of red tape, there's a lot of paperwork, gotta go through a lot of channels, but we can figure it out for you if you keep Crittenden off our backs.
Mm.
And he's like, okay, deal. You got it. And so Stretch is like, Fatso, go get Amelia.
Yes.
And Fatso leaves.
Yep.
And then there's like 2 seconds later, there's like a knock on his office door, and it's glowing on the other side.
Glowing light, yeah.
Yeah, and one of them is like, wow, that was fast. And Dr. Harvey is like approaching it really slowly, and they're like, go to her. Because
they both have like,
think that's for you, Doc.
big puppy dog eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he finally makes it to the door, and he opens it. There's a bunch of fog, and through the fog we see Fatso dressed like a lady with a bunch of makeup on. And
big
he's
old
like,
titties.
"Ah, man!" and smooches Dr. Harvey so hard that all of his makeup and clothing fall off. And then he laughs a lot about it.
I've never kissed anyone that hard.
Well, you're not a ghost.
That's true.
It was probably just clinging, barely.
Just like thinking about how I wouldn't have to buy makeup remover wipes.
Just smooch somebody.
Yeah, just all pops off.
Well, I'm going to bed. Come here real quick. Mwah! Nice. Cleaned my pores.
Perfect.
So then there's a knock at the front door.
Yes, and Kat opens it, and it's Vic.
She says, "What are you doing here?" I mean, hi.
And he says, "The teacher told everyone where you live so that I could show up and bother you."
Yeah.
No, he says, "Can I come in?"
And she's like, "Absolutely not."
No, yeah.
Let's just stand outside. It's nice out here. It's so
closes the door.
Breezy.
Yeah. Casper is watching all of this go down.
Yeah, because he's like right on the inside of the door. I think she looks at him and she's like, "Nope, you can't come in my house. There's a ghost right there."
Yeah.
And then Casper like cleans like a circle in the door and is looking through, and then just sticks his head through because he's a ghost.
Because he can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Vic would like to know if Kat has asked her dad about having the party at their place, and she says, "Yeah, he kind of hit the ceiling, but I think it'll be fine."
Yeah.
And then she's glancing at Casper the whole time, and Casper's like creeping around, you know.
Yeah.
And Vic gives her this most charming, dimply smile.
I know.
And he says, "Hey, if you're not hooked up with someone already, do you want to hang out at the party?"
Yeah.
And Casper is behind him this whole time, like, when Vic runs his fingers through his hair, Casper runs his fingers through his not hair.
Yeah.
He, like, is mocking all of his movements.
Yeah, he, like, pulls his backpack further up on his shoulder, and Casper, like, ugh. And then he does something else, and Casper mimics hanging himself. It's just like,
"Oh, yeah,
Christ,
do you want to hang out at the party?"
Oh, yeah, you're like, bleh.
Yeah.
And Kat, like, looks at him and then looks at Vic, and is like, "I would love to."
Yeah.
Vic's like, "Great, tight." And he leaves.
And then he leaves. He couldn't just call.
Well, I mean, he knew where she lived.
Right, I know.
Because she said so. But the phone number, they're not in the book anywhere.
Oh, it's 420 6969.
6969, of course.
Area code 666.
Wow. What a number. Friendship, Maine. Area code 666. So as Vic is leaving, we see that Amber is waiting, like, in the front yard, kind of hiding behind this giant fountain.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Did you ask her?" And Vic's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah." And she's like, "And she actually believed you?" Vic's like, "This really bites, you know?" And Amber's like, "No, this is so totally perfect."
I don't understand this at all.
Amber has been scorned by the new girl. She doesn't get to have the Halloween dance at her house. I'm sorry, her boat house. Because of this new bitch who just showed up and lives in this creepy house. Oh my god, this is so rude. I can't believe it. Does she know who she's dealing with? She's new around here.
No. She's broken. It won't stop. No, but I just mean, like, she implies that they had to do this to go set up for, like, some plan. They're gonna prank her.
Yeah.
But their prank later on is, like, just being in that costume.
That's true. It actually has nothing to do with Vic being her date for the dance, and everything to do with crushing her emotionally. Just as an added bonus.
Okay.
Because Amber sucks a lot.
Well, so does Vic, because he's going along with it.
Well, I think he's being, like, blackmailed or something. I mean, truly, because he's like, "I don't want to do this." And she's like, nobody fucking asked you, Vic." And it's like, what kind of hold does she have on you, dude? Like, what? I promise, whatever it is, it's not that bad.
No.
Just let her tell the whole school your embarrassing secret. You're
Right.
charming and handsome, and then move on. Don't
Nobody
let her do
cares
this to you.
that you have 9 toes. It's fine.
It's fine. Nobody cares that you,
Chill.
you know, have rubber sheets because you wet the bed. It's fine.
Aww.
It's fine, Vic. Whatever she has on you, it's fine. Unless you killed a guy. In which case, you should probably deal with that.
Anyway, back in Whipstaff, Kat is fixing her hair in the mirror in her room.
Yeah.
She's looking so happy.
Yeah.
She opens her music box to get out a scrunchie, and Casper is there. He is very tiny, and he is dancing with the little music box figure.
It's so cute.
And he says, "I'm a good dancer."
Mm-hmm.
And
Cat's
then
like, closes the door.
he appears as a shirt in her dresser.
Uh-huh.
He says, "I don't need a costume."
Uh-huh.
And then she closes the drawer.
Yeah.
And then he appears with some balloons in a closet. He says, I'm always the life of the party.
Yeah.
How many parties have you been to, Casper?
You don't know. So many. The cat is like, okay, look. All right, I get it. I know you want to go, but I have a date.
What does this Vic guy got that I haven't got?
A pulse?
Big fleshy deal.
Tan?
He, like, pulls at his ghost skin. He says, very bad for your skin.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How about a reflection?
He goes to look in the mirror and he's like, all right.
Yeah, you got me on that one. Casper's like, okay, chalk that one up to the Vic column, but can he do this? And he makes himself look like Superman, but still with his giant bulbous head.
Yes.
And he has a big C on his chest.
Yes.
But then he imitates the Terminator. Says, come with me if you want to live, which is terrifying. And then drags her out the window and off the balcony.
By her ankle?
Yes. Well, he's grabbed her by the wrist and drags her over the edge and then drops her. And then flies down and catches her by the ankle and flies away with her. And she's like, Casper, this is too high. And she's freaking out the whole time.
Also, this exchange is cute, but didn't they just meet, like, yesterday?
Yes, she has not been in this house for very long.
No, because the timeline I feel is, like, they get there day 1. Yeah. The next day is the day that Casper makes breakfast and she goes to school. Yes. And then this is day 3. Yes. So.
Time has not passed.
No.
For him to be like... I mean, he decided already that he was in love with her because he saw her on the TV.
Right. But, I don't know, it just feels like the way they interact with each other is like people that have known one another for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just being like, I don't know, like they haven't discussed the dance at all. Yeah. And she's acting like, I know you want to go. Yeah. Like, we've talked about this.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they talked about it after she got home from school. Yeah. And she was like, you know, Dad, can I go to this? Can I have this dance at our house? And right. Then, you know, they had time. But yeah, the familiarity between them is too much for people who have just met.
Much too much.
2 days before.
Anyway, so now they are sitting on a lighthouse above the ocean. Mm-hmm. Did he fly her all the way there by holding her by the ankle?
I mean, I'm hoping that maybe he, like, flipped her real quick. But maybe not.
How did they get back?
Same way.
All right, give me your ankle. Let's go.
By the hands this time, please.
But, yes, they're sitting there. Casper says he goes there every night. And Kat asks what he was like when he was alive. Mm-hmm.
He says, I don't know. Don't remember. I don't remember any of it, actually.
Not anything.
And she's, like, asking more specific questions. What about your dad? What about your mom? What about... And he's like, I don't remember any of it. Yeah. Like, none of it.
Yeah, and he's like, is that bad?
And she says, no, it's just kind of sad.
Yeah. So then they get back home. They've flown on Ankle Airlines. Back laying in bed. Casper says, I wonder why I don't remember anything. And he's like floating, laying next to her while they talk. Yeah. Which is cute.
It is.
He's like not in the bed, but he's just like laying on his side as if he were in a bed.
Yeah. But Kat says that she's worried she's going to forget little things about her mom.
Yeah, and she lists off little cute things about her mom, like her making breakfast in the kitchen, her putting on lipstick. Like, they're cheesy, like, very stereotypical things, but it is, like, a sweet moment.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she says she's worried that if her mom is a ghost, her mom is going to forget her. Mm. And Casper's like, nobody could forget you. There's no way.
Mm-hmm. And then he says, Kat, if I were alive, would you go to the Halloween dance with me? Mm-hmm. Kat,
what was that last bit?
Can I keep you?
She says, But she's, like, mostly asleep. Yeah. And he kisses her cheek, and she says, Casper, close the window, it's cold. But he does not do that.
Well, because the window isn't open.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember if they showed it or not.
No, she just says that because he kisses her and it's cold.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I knew. Anyway.
But yeah, he just curls up at the foot of her bed like a cat.
Yeah.
And goes to sleep.
Yeah, it's very cute. So the next morning, Kat goes to breakfast. And she startles her dad.
I found your Visa card!
He's like, bah! But he says, where was it?
Oh, it was in your wallet.
I love that.
Yes.
And next time I just steal money from people, that's how I'm going to use it.
Oh, like, next time? Is that a common thing you do?
Yeah.
Where is my wallet?
I found your money. Where was it? In your pocket. Bye!
Finders keepers.
Yeah. Just because I rummaged through your shit for an hour doesn't mean anything. Anyway, she was like, I was wondering if I could take this Visa card and buy a Halloween costume that I saw in a store window. Mm-hmm. But he's like, but you always used to make your Halloween costumes. And she's like, well, I mean, I didn't, but like Mom made them.
Yeah, and
he's like,
oh, I think I could come up with something.
Yeah.
I could roll you up in aluminum and you could be a leftover.
Ib.
Yeah.
But she's like, yeah, no, thank you. And he's like, listen, you'll figure it out. You always look cute.
Yeah, but she doesn't want to look cute.
No.
She wants to look nice.
Oh, yeah? How nice?
Like, date nice.
Excuse me. Says Dr. Harvey.
Excuse me?
He's like, oh, maybe it's time we sat down and,
And she's like, oh, it's too late for that, Dad.
Yeah. And he says, how late?
Oh, not that late.
Yeah, did he just ask his young teen daughter if she was pregante?
Am I pregnant? No, I think he's just making sure that she has not boned anyone yet.
Mm-hmm. So she's like, I'm
She's like,
old enough to know.
I know what sex is, but no, I haven't done it.
But we're not that late. Dang.
Right.
You're just right there in the middle, Dad.
Pregnant. Did that one get you?
Yeah. Yeah, it did. Whew.
But, he says, I cannot buy you anything. I do not have money until I get paid.
Yep.
That card is pretty useless.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll figure it out.
It's fine. Yeah, it's okay. I'll have a great party anyway. So then we hear the West Friendship 3 singing, It's My Party. And she's just like, Dad, whatever you do, please don't let them crash the party.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think they're doing a lot better, and I think that we are making some
progress.
Headway.
Yeah.
And then we just hear the ghosts all laugh and sing some more, and he looks very grim.
Yeah.
I don't think he actually believes what he's saying.
No, and he is also starting to grow a beard, I think.
Yeah.
To show that he is, like, frazzled and getting stressed out and tired. They probably don't let him sleep much.
Also, he probably hasn't unpacked his razor. They've only been there for 3 days.
Yeah, that's true.
He tries to pour his coffee from, like, way too high up.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna splash all over the table there, Dr. Harvey.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make it to the cup. It just floats off into the distance, and one of the ghosts says, "Scream or sugar!" Oh, boy.
You know, minus all the gross stuff, I would definitely be this kind of ghost.
Oh, absolutely. We are this kind of ghost now.
Oh, that's true.
Just making terrible jokes.
Yeah, just bad jokes and pulling dumb pranks. Like, this is a harmless, like, haha, your coffee missed the cup.
Yeah.
Like, that's hilarious.
I took it.
Pulled
and now I'm gonna...
seats out from people as they're about to sit down.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. That's not. Depends on the person.
It's funny. Well, as long as they're healthy.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt anyone.
No.
It would just be funny. Anyway, Kat is exploring the house.
Yeah. Which, I would be like, I'm not going to school. Right. I have this giant house to explore. I'll go to school next week.
You need to touch everything.
I'm not going to school ever. Fuck this. Who needs it?
Fuck this. My dad's a ghost therapist.
Right?
But she finds a crate in the attic?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. She's in a very dusty room, so that narrows it down.
Right. And it is marked C. McFadden.
Uh-huh.
And she looks very pleased with herself about it.
Yeah.
Dr. Harvey, at the same time, is walking into his office, and the ghosts are there with pads of paper and glasses and ready to analyze him.
Ah, Dr. Harvey, we are ready for your appointment. And they're all like, oh, you're late. So rude. Unprofessional.
Yes. Kerrigan and Dibbs are watching through the window.
Uh-huh.
And they look annoyed and confused, respectively.
Yes.
Dr. Harvey is giving them the silent treatment as he's, like, packing his stuff up. He's not responding to any of their antics. He is just, like, getting his shit together.
Mm-hmm.
So they try to get him to talk to them,
Yeah.
but he is just ignoring them. And they decide, this calls for drastic measures, boys.
Yep.
Happy hour?
Happy hour?
Happy hour.
Happy hour!
So they all fly over and pick Dr. Harvey up.
Yeah, and we see him, like, just smile a little bit.
Yeah.
So we know this was clearly a tactic of him being like, I'm gonna make the ghosts come to me.
Yeah.
He's a very good psychiatrist.
Yeah. He's using reverse psychology.
Yes.
Reverse psychiatry.
Yeah.
If you're a psychiatrist.
Right. So they pick him up and they fly him right out the window. And Kerrigan and Dibbs, like, duck. And Dibbs is just, like, mad.
Yeah.
He's just like, this is appalling. You pay a man to get the ghosts out of a house, and what does he do?
He gets the ghosts out of the house.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Ghost free.
So back in the attic, Kat has reassembled a bunch of Casper's toys, and they're all very colorful and still functioning, and it's like a whole room full of toys. It looks tight as hell.
Yeah.
There's a train, there's a Ferris wheel. He flies in, he sees a hand imprint that he had made, and remembers that he used to have 5 fingers.
Yep.
And that his train's name is Hootie.
Yep.
Hootie and the Tank Engines. And he also remembers that his mom's wedding dress is in a trunk up there.
Yeah.
So he flies into the trunk.
Yep.
And pops back out with the dress. And puts it over Kat's head.
Yeah.
Over all of her other clothes.
Yeah, which seems very uncomfortable. But she's like, oh, may I? And he's like, yeah, I just put it on you.
Right.
Like, unless you're going to go roll around in some mud, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But so she goes over to a mirror and she, like, ties it on herself. And it fits perfectly. Yeah. So I'm like, how tiny was Casper's mom?
Pretty small.
This is an itty-bitty little girl.
Well, Christina Ricci is 5'1".
Yeah.
As an adult.
Oh,
yes.
That's fair.
So she was probably 5'1".
Yeah.
Here.
That's true.
So.
It is an adult size, I suppose.
Yeah. She was probably just a little lady.
Yeah.
Like Cat / Christina Ricci.
Little lady. But she's like, can I wear this to the party? Which I'm like, that seems kind of weird.
I mean,
she's not going as anything. She's just wearing a very old wedding dress.
She may have intended to, like, do her makeup away.
That's true.
But she does not have time.
That's true.
Because a lot of shit is about to go down.
Yeah. She's gonna do the Katie Heron thing where she's, like, a zombie bride and she's like, I'm an ex-wife.
Yes.
That's true. A lot of things happen.
So Casper is floating around wearing a hat that doesn't fit him because his ghost head is too big.
It's a big head.
But then he sees a sled and it jogs his memory.
Yeah.
And you remembered this part. He explains a story. He's like sitting on it and tells the story that he saw it in a window and he begged his dad for it and his dad wouldn't get it for him because he didn't know how to use it. But then one day he came home and there it was. His dad bought it for him for no reason at all.
No reason at all.
So he took it out and he went sledding all day.
Yeah.
And even when his dad said that he had done enough sledding, he couldn't stop because he was having too much fun.
Yeah.
And he stayed out past dark, and it got too cold, and he got sick, and his dad got sad.
I mean, no one now I'm sad.
Yeah, the music in this part, too, is very intense.
I know.
And Kat says, what's it like to die?
Mm-hmm. Casper explains, it's like being born, but backwards.
Yeah.
I remember I didn't go where I was supposed to go. I just stayed behind, so my dad wouldn't be lonely.
Right, which is sweet. But then I'm like, okay, but why are you still here if your dad was your unfinished business and he's dead now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because now your dad is dead and has moved on.
Yeah, the reason he didn't move on was
to where he is if you want to keep hanging out.
Yeah. That's true.
Unless he stayed a ghost for so long that he forgot.
Yeah, but it's not really up to you.
That's true.
Because, like, later when we see Kerrigan, she doesn't know how it works, but just because she says, I have no unfinished business, zoop. Or maybe he has to acknowledge that he doesn't have unfinished business, but if he doesn't know that he's supposed to, he's just gonna be stuck there forever.
The rules of this are very willy-nilly.
Very loosey-goosey, yeah, absolutely.
Very William-nillium.
Both William and Nilliam.
Lucinda Gosling.
Of course.
Lucinda Gosling.
Yes.
Very William Nilliam and Lucinda Gosling.
Attorneys at law.
Wait, what are their nicknames?
But so, Kat looks down and sees a bunch of conveniently placed newspaper clippings.
Yes.
Just all scattered around on the floor.
Mm-hmm. And
she reads that Mr. McFadden, Casper's dad, had, like, lost his mind. Because he's like, oh, crazed inventor or brilliant inventor or whatever claims to be haunted by the ghost of his son.
Yeah.
Says that he's invented a machine to bring his dead son back to life. And as she's reading it, Casper remembers, and they both go, the Lazarus!
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, good, because it's like, did you stay as a ghost but then didn't get to communicate with your dad and you just, like, wasted all of that? But he was, like, talking to his dad the whole time, so it actually helped, you know, he stuck around, helped his dad to not be lonely.
For sure.
Maybe ruined his reputation a little bit, but who cares?
Yeah, Casper gets very excited when he remembers this, and he grabs Kat's arm to take her to the Lazarus, but forgets that she's a human and tries to pull her through a wall.
Yeah.
It does not work.
No, she just slams right into it and ends up a crumpled heap.
It's kind of funny.
It is. And he pops back in and says, guess we'll have to take the long way. My dad hid it so that no one could find it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kerrigan and Dibbs overhear this, and they are stoked because they think he's talking about the treasure.
Yes.
And Kerrigan kisses Dibbs. Ew.
It is gross, and he's, like, so floored by it. Like, he freezes for a second. So, I mean, they clearly do not have any sort of physical relationship. So he really is just either getting paid constantly to hang out with her, which is sad, and also doesn't make any sense. Like, bitch, if you would stop spending money hand over fist on goofy shit, like a lawyer to follow you around and be your only friend, then you wouldn't need to try and break down this giant house for treasure.
Yes.
And also, Dibbs.
Get a life.
Some self-respect, my dude.
Right.
Jesus Christ. Anyway,
Casper's pulling her through the house, and it is a very big house.
Mm-hmm.
So she says, don't you know a shortcut?
Uh-huh.
And so he pushes her through a wall that does the, like, secret wall flip around thing.
Right, yeah.
But before it flips, and she's being dragged towards it, she's like, Casper, no! Wall! Human! Stop!
Yep. She smacks into it, and they end up in her dad's office.
Yeah.
Up at the top of the stairs. And he pushes her down into this big red velvet armchair.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you might want to hang on.
Yeah.
And he pulls a lever.
Hold on to your butts!
He pulls a tassel on the lamp next to it, which is pretty cool. And the chair starts moving on a track, and the metal spiral staircase becomes a slide, and she goes down it, and then the floor opens up, and she goes down into that.
Down into even more dust.
Oh yeah, you thought it was dusty up top? It's hella dusty
These
down
people
here.
must not have any allergies. No one has sneezed once.
It's true. Nice for them.
Yeah. But anyway, she goes down into the floor.
Yeah.
More dust clouds, a bunch of flashing lights.
Yeah.
It very much looks like a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, it's like they set it up to be like, hey, we could make a ride out of this. It could look just like this. Because there's like Halloween maze chuckling happening too, which does not need to be a part of your invention unless you were trying to make a roller. The flashing lights are not necessary, but especially the like.
Well, so this is part of the Up and Atom machine.
You're right.
So maybe this is how he liked to wake up in the morning.
Scares him awake.
He likes to be startled.
Yes.
But yeah, that's why I remembered that there was a roller coaster in the basement. It isn't quite a roller coaster, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
Because once they get down in the basement, there's a bunch of scaffolding, like would be for a wooden coaster.
Yes.
But yeah, so she's going through a machine that gets you ready for the day.
Yes.
There's a toothbrush that brushes her upper lip.
Uh-huh.
A thing that shoots shaving cream at her.
Yeah.
Razors.
Yeah, just straight razors that are like shing, 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 shing,
unguarded straight razors.
Yeah.
Then she gets sprayed with water, and then her hair is combed,
Yes.
and then she gets a bow tie.
Yes.
And then down into the basement, which has a water feature.
Yes.
There's just water. It's
I know.
like a moat.
Yeah, well, it's like in a cave, I guess, and so like there's
it's
like a lake.
Batman's cave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just like water in it. Again, it's very roller coaster-y.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
It is, yeah.
She gets down there, and she's like, what the fuck just happened to me,
Yeah.
Casper? And he's like, oh, that was the Up and Atom machine. My dad was a great inventor, but he had a little trouble getting ready in the morning.
Didn't he ever hear of caffeine?
No.
Or back in his day, cocaine?
Right? Also, I like that he put on a bow tie just so he could go to his own lab to work on shit.
You gotta feel awake, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you wake up in the morning and you're like, I need to get some shit done around the house and putting on a bra.
Yeah. Oh, same. I cannot get things done if I'm not wearing a bra.
I will just lay back down in bed if my titties is out.
Yeah, so comfy.
Too comfy.
It's just funny that he either is only wearing a bow tie and his pajamas, or he managed to get himself dressed the rest of the way.
Yes.
But he's like, I can't bother to put this clip-on bow tie on, because it doesn't tie it, it just clips it.
Yes. It really just sets it on her neck, too.
It doesn't get it all the way around.
No.
Anyway. Also, that machine would definitely just cut your face off.
I mean, it's making like the shing, shing, shing,
Yeah.
shing, shing, shing noise.
Yeah, and it's like terrifying to her. And so there's no like... It would just cut your face off.
Yeah, because it can't go back down.
No.
Anyway.
And you're moving in a forward direction the whole time. Anyway, terrifying. But then we see...
Dibs and Kerrigan are going through the machine. I guess it had a second chair.
I guess so.
Dibs is sitting on her lap for some reason, but it is funny that he's the one sitting on her.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
He does not avoid the shaving cream in the same way that Kat did.
No.
It just covers him.
Yeah.
Like the Wonka wash.
Yeah.
Like, there's just foam everywhere. The razors are too high up for Dibs to avoid them, because Kat had just, like, slinked down so that they didn't get her, but he gets got.
Yep.
And they make it down.
Yeah.
A little worse for wear.
Yeah.
But Dibs has his hair perfectly smoothed back.
Yeah.
He did get combed.
Yeah.
And he has just, like, a mustache of shaving cream.
Yeah, and his shirt is in, like, tatters.
Yeah.
Which I don't know
razors.
how that happened. Yeah.
Because the razors.
It's actually not for shaving your face, it's for shaving your chest.
He only liked to wear those sweaters that get fuzzy. He's trying to get the fuzz off, you know what I mean?
Oh, I was just imagining him ending up in the lab like a Chippendale dancer with a bow tie and a freshly waxed chest. My teeth are clean. My chest is hairless. I got my bow tie on. I'm ready to invent.
Let's raise the dead! Oh my god. But they make it down in time to hear Casper explaining to Cat, "Buccaneers and buried gold, whipstaff doth the treasure hold."
The thing from the fire!
Somehow they get off of the ride before it goes all the way down into the part where Cat and Casper are also.
Yeah.
Because they're like up in a corner listening.
Yeah, just hop off.
I guess.
It's not going that fast, I suppose.
I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows about anything?
But Cat asks where the Lazarus is.
Mm-hmm.
And I spelled Lazarus wrong so many times. Cat asks where the Lazarus is, and Casper points to a foggy pond in the middle of the room and says, "Down there."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's like, "Oh, is it not over there?" And points to, like, very clearly, like, a safe wall. A safe door in the wall.
Yeah.
And Casper's like, "No, that's the vault." And Kerrigan and Dibbs are like, "Hell yeah, that's what we came down here
The
for. That's
vault.
where the treasure must be." Because, you know, pirates usually bury their treasure in a safe
vault. Yeah.
Just
I mean, they're in a secret part of the
yeah,
house.
I guess once you get all the way down to you're like, okay, we don't have to hide it in here.
Right.
Casper is trying to find the levers to get the Lazarus up out of the pond. And he's like pulling on levers, but they're kind of stuck and they don't seem to be working.
Yeah, so Cat is checking all around and there's like a desk covered in dust.
Yeah. The dust here, I mean, I know we've like harped on it.
There's so much dust.
But the dust here is so thick that it's like dirt at this point. It might as well just be a layer of sand on
I think
stuff.
it's maybe because they're in a cave.
I guess.
Yeah.
And like no one's been down here even longer than no one's been in like the rest of the house. But I
Right.
mean, yeah, she's like moving books and it like slides off the layers of dirt here.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And she finds the book Frankenstein, but it won't move.
Oh.
Will not budge.
Whoa.
So she opens the cover to find
Uh-huh.
not pages, but some buttons.
Whoa.
So she pushes one.
Uh-huh.
And here comes a Lazarus. Up out of the water.
Nice.
Straight out of Whipstaff.
Yeah. It looks like the bathysphere from BioShock.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
the
that's a
first
good way to
BioShock
put it.
movie.
Yeah.
So it's just like a big round
Metal.
submersible. Like
Yeah.
this one's a little more like oval shaped, but like, you know, the way like really old timey diver helmets look, sort
Right,
of,
yeah.
but with a big old door on the front.
Right. It looks like a outhouse
Yeah.
for mermaids.
Yes.
Because it's like the size of an outhouse.
Yeah.
But it's meant to be underwater, I guess.
Absolutely.
Dibbs
Yeah.
and Kerrigan, while all this is happening, are not paying attention. They are instead trying to open the vault, but it is locked because it is a vault.
Yeah, you can't just
Go open it.
Dibbs is trying to open it, and then Kerrigan like gets mad and is like, "Get out of the way!" And then she tries to open it, and it's like, it's not a matter of muscle, dude. It's a matter of it's locked, because that's how these things work.
Right. Cat is looking around and sees 3 bottles next to the machine.
Mhm.
2 are empty, and 1 is full of a red liquid.
Mhm.
So she picks it up because she's looking at it, and Casper floats over to tell her to be careful because that's what makes the whole machine work.
Yeah.
It's like an instant primordial soup mix.
Yes.
It's what brings ghosts back to life. And there's just enough for 1.
Okay, here's what I don't understand.
Yes.
Casper knows how this machine works.
Yes.
He knows that it needs this liquid.
Right.
He knows how much of the liquid that it needs. There's only enough left for 1.
Exactly.
Why is he still a ghost?
I don't know, because there are 2 empty bottles, which imply one of them has some, like a tiny bit of red liquid in the bottom, which implies that it has been used before.
Yep.
And there's no explanation of, like, my dad was trying, and we tried a bunch of times, and it never worked.
Mhm.
Nothing.
No, he sounds very sure as to, like, this is how the machine works. This is what you need to do to make it work. You need
Right.
this liquid. You need this much of this liquid. Cool, I'm gonna be alive. He's, like, really stoked. And I'm like, why didn't you do this while your dad was still alive?
Yeah, I don't know,
if
because
all of this worked.
Nothing
And
has changed.
You knew where the machine was.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, you have to be alive to get into it. He died before it. There's no explanation.
No.
It just works.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. I don't
Oh,
get why
yeah.
he's still a ghost.
Me neither. But he puts the bottle into the machine.
Yep.
Tells Cat to pull a lever.
Yep.
As he climbs into it. And he says, I'm gonna be alive.
Yep.
Cat is very nervous, though, because, as she mutters to herself, she couldn't even get her Easy Bake Oven to work.
Right.
So she just starts pulling random levers. The first one just makes the roller coaster chair go backwards. Don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
Because how do you pull that while you're also sitting in it? But
I know, it's
anyway.
very far away.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's no reason for, unless there's more than one the lever should just be on the chair.
Yeah, and also the chair is there again later.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway.
the second lever that she pulls seems to get the machine going.
Yeah.
And the third lever that she pulls, Yzma and Kronk fall into the shark tank.
Why do they even have that lever? But as the machine is going, we see a hand reach out, and it takes the soup mix.
Rude.
Takes the Campbell's ready to make
the secret
soup mix
recipe for the Krabby Patty.
And everything starts powering down.
Yes.
And so Kat's like, oh shit, what's happening? Casper! And she goes and she opens the door, and she sees Casper just looking like a giant sunny side up egg.
And those make her yak.
I know. And he says, am I alive? As the bits of his face start sliding down.
I know.
And the yolk.
So Kerrigan has the soup mix and is running through the house and explaining to Dibs that with this formula, you don't have to be scared of death anymore. Because you can die, and then you can just go down there, and you're back on your feet again on your way to the Riviera or whatever.
Yep.
And Dibs is like, you could even fly. Through walls.
Yeah, thick walls.
Thick walls.
Made out of steel.
Steel walls.
Vault walls, perhaps. And then you would have access to whatever was hidden behind those walls. It would be yours. You could have it.
Okay, Mojo Jojo.
The walls!
So they're planning for one of them to die, and then they can fly in and get the treasure, and then turn back into an alive person.
Right. Because Dibs says, well, I mean, yeah, if you were a ghost. And Kerrigan's like, you mean if you were a ghost? And then she goes and she grabs a giant axe.
Which was just in the house for some reason.
I think there's like
one
suits
of those,
of armor.
Yeah.
So she's like, whoop, and tries to kill him.
Yep, but he has a bucket of chocolate pudding.
Yeah, it's super, because he's wearing a suit of armor.
Yeah, he put the suit of armor on.
All of the sudden.
Yeah.
And he's dumping giant, like, steel buckets of chocolate pudding all over the floor, and then she comes running down the hall holding this giant axe, slips through it, goes all the way out a window. So then he comes running out of the house, no longer wearing the suit of armor, to see if she's dead. And she's gone, but
Maybe
he
it
sees...
was just Velcroed on.
Yeah.
Skirt?
You just get into it and then close it in the front like a dollhouse door.
Yeah, but it's like
it up.
tearaway pants.
So it's just like clank where you drop.
Yes.
I love it. Tearaway armor. So then he's outside and he sees like the bottle of the soup mix
on the ground.
On the ground.
Yeah.
And he's like, here you are. And he goes to pick it up, and Kerrigan goes to run him over with her car.
Yeah. At the very last second, he throws a piece of previously destroyed statue at her windshield, and it's like a head of a statue.
Yeah.
And he like looks at it.
Yeah.
Like they make eye contact for
yes.
a second, and then he throws it at the windshield.
Yeah.
Which it does not go through the windshield, but it does crack it enough that she can't see where she's going.
Uh-huh.
And just drives into the woods for some reason.
Hit the brakes, dude.
Right.
Where are your brakes?
You didn't hit him.
No.
So stop.
Yeah.
No, she just keeps going. She drives into the woods.
Yep.
She hits a tree.
Yes.
Comes to a stop.
Yeah.
The camera zooms out. We see that she's at the very edge of a cliff.
Uh-huh.
And she opens her door to get out.
Yes.
And just falls.
Falls. All the way down. To her death. And then Dibs comes and looks over the cliff edge, and he's like, Kerrigan, are you a ghost yet? But he doesn't hear her. And so he's like, whatever. Just walks away. Says, what a tragic waste. She had my favorite sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
But as he's walking away...
Yep. A huge shadow appears behind him. And he hears, the bitch is back.
Yikes. Yeah. Can't say bitch in a kid's movie.
They say it twice.
Just kidding, you can. Uh-huh. So now, we're at karaoke. With Dr. Harvey.
Yes.
And the ghost trio.
Yes, where Dr. Harvey is actually doing a very good job of singing Jailhouse Rock.
Doing great.
Yeah. I don't know why there always has to be some reference to drinking in every children's movie.
I don't get it either. I mean, just so that what happens next can happen, because he would have been too aware otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just always drinking. Like, I don't understand it. There could have just been some other accident that happened. He didn't have to be drunk.
No.
They could have been at a carnival and the Ferris wheel fell apart.
Yeah.
You know?
Like anything else.
Could have been at a haunted house, because it's Halloween. Just so many. He could have drowned bobbing for apples. There's just so many things that could have happened. But anyway,
yes,
the bar is like completely trashed and empty, and it took me a second to realize why.
Because they scared everyone off.
Yeah. Because I was just like, why does this bar look like shit?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, because everybody like turned and ran.
Yes.
But so...
And they're all just drinking the drinks that were left behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
they're discussing like how much they like Dr. Harvey, and they're like, this guy's got a lot of spirit.
Mm-hmm.
We should be friends with him, but like forever.
Yeah.
Stretch is like, yeah, you know what? We've been a trio for too long. I think it's time we became a quartet.
Yeah, they're like, oh, he's got so much miserable life ahead of him.
Yeah. Oh, wait, we could fix that.
Yeah.
Fix it right now.
So they grab some weapons that are also just in the bar.
Yeah, Stinky has a shotgun.
Yeah. And they're gonna kill him.
Mm-hmm.
but he suddenly stopped singing, and he starts confessing his love for them.
Yeah, he, like, stumbles over and hits the karaoke machine, and it starts a different song.
Yeah.
And it's, like, much more, like, heartfelt, and he's like, guys, I just want you to know that I think you're great. He says, you look life right in the face and tell it, I'm a ghost. I don't need you. And he makes, like, a fuck you gesture, you know, where he, like, puts his hand under his chin, and I'm like, oh boy, that is, whew,
old school.
Spicy. But he's like, you know what? I'm going to tell Kerrigan to leave you guys alone.
It
because
takes
it's your
him
house.
several tries to get Kerrigan out.
Yeah. He says...
Crittenden. Kerrigan.
He just ends up with the lady. I'm going to tell that lady that it's your house. You live there, and possession is 9/10 of the law. So I'm going to tell her to leave you alone.
Yeah.
Because you deserve to be left alone.
Kisses each of them.
Yeah.
They all struggle against it, but they
also like it afterwards.
And then he makes his way back over to the bar. Mm-hmm. The trio all throw their weapons away.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, what a sweetheart. I can't croak him now.
Right. We see behind them there is one guy left at the bar just totally drunk, hanging out at his table.
Passed out as hell.
But Harvey takes a shot, smashes the glass down on the bar, and he's like, all right, boys, the night is young. We gotta hit some more bars.
Yes.
And he's backing out of the doors. He says, we're gonna booze it till we lose it.
Yeah, and he opens the doors to the bar, and there's a work site with an open pit that he does not see.
Right, and they're like they're like...
But then he just pulls a Brian Schaefer and walks right into the hole. And then we hear,
you can't keep getting away with this!
It's my podcast!
Can't believe you.
That's what everybody thinks happened to him. I don't agree, but, you know, it's funny.
R.I.P. Brian Schaefer, wherever you are. Or if you're not...
If he's not dead.
Tell your family.
Yeah, let somebody know.
I just want to know what happened.
Anyway,
back at Whipstaff. Kat is reinflating Casper with one of those, like, bellows.
Oh yeah, that's what they're called.
That's what they're called.
I was trying to type, like, with one of those fire things, and I was like, I'm just gonna erase it.
Squeeze it.
Yeah.
A bellows. Anyway.
Right.
Hello? And his, like, head, like, reinflates, and he says, oh, I think my ears just popped.
Yeah.
And then Kerrigan comes flying in, laughing maniacally.
Yeah, and fully dressed and looking just like
she's got lipstick. She's got her blonde hair. She's got a black dress on. Like, I don't understand why she's dressed.
I don't know.
We would know who she was based on the silhouette and the fact that she is dead and the way that she sounds. We don't need the clothing.
Anyway. She heads straight for the vault.
Yep.
Flies in, grabs the treasure chest.
Yeah.
Door opens out as she exits because I guess vaults open from the inside.
It's got one of those, like, emergency push buttons like you see in a walk-in freezer.
Yeah, sure.
You're just trying to keep people out. You don't need to keep them in.
Anyway, Casper says, my treasure! And Kerrigan says, you mean my treasure!
What a bitch.
But then here comes Dibs with the soup mix. He came back down and got a fresh shave again.
Yeah.
But Casper, he's still scared of Casper.
Yeah.
So Casper is able to, like, startle him until he falls into the moat.
Yeah.
And he grabs the soup mix, and he hands it to Kat, and then he pushes her into the chair, and then pushes the chair all the way back up to the beginning of the track, and they're back in the house.
Yes.
And Kerrigan doesn't do anything during all of that, but that's fine.
Yeah, she just hangs out.
Yeah. I don't know how she survived going through the up and at 'em machine backwards, but that's okay. Also, do you think this machine is sentient? And is like, God, why is he getting ready so much today?
You again. I think when you go backwards, it's a putting you to bed machine.
Oh, that'd be tight.
It, like, makes you some chamomile tea.
Yeah.
It, like, puts little slippers on your feet.
A little nightcap on your head.
Takes your bow tie off.
If you don't have a bow tie, it just... just gets you.
Yeah, it got me.
Anyway, as they stop at the top of the tracks, the doorbell rings, because they're having a party.
Yeah, remember? A whole school is showing up at the same time. They all showed up at once. They marched over there together
like
rode
the school bus together.
Frankenstein mob. Oh, that makes more sense, actually.
I mean, I don't know if they did, but that's just, I guess, what they did do. Anyway, she's still wearing her clothes underneath her dress.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
But she runs to let everyone in. And her teacher is dressed like a lobster.
Yeah. She says, okay, this is the room. Stay together. You'll be safe. And I'll be right back. And they're like, what? But I mean, they wanted to be in this giant creepy house, so you gotta deal with the giant creepy house. And then we see Amber and Vic, who are sneaking in through a window, which doesn't make sense, because they are invited. Expected, even.
Yeah.
Vic is Kat's date for this dance.
There's
they could
no
just
reason for them to do that.
Go through the front door, but anyway, they're climbing in through the window, and Vic says, do we have to do this? And Amber says if she wants a Halloween party, she's gonna get a Halloween party.
Yeah, she's having a Halloween party.
Yeah,
it is happening.
It's happening. There it is. There's the party.
All those students have filed in to the house in like this tight little group, like looking around nervously, and they can hear Kerrigan's laugh echo through the house.
Yeah.
And they're like, ah.
It's creepy.
Yeah, Dibs is trying to open the treasure chest with a crowbar, and Casper tries to stop him.
Yeah.
But Dibs threatens to hit him.
It doesn't make any sense. He's a ghost.
Right.
That'll just go right through him.
I don't think it would actually hurt him.
No.
I don't know, but Cat puts the soup mix into the Lazarus slot. That's what I call my Lazarus slot.
Lazarus slot, yeah.
And Casper goes to get into the machine, but Kerrigan pops out.
Yep. And she yells at Dibs. She's like, get the machine running. But he's like, no. She says, listen here, you flaccid little worm.
Ugh.
Yeah. But he's just, she's like yelling at him. Like she always does, trying to get him to do the thing.
Mm-hmm. And he's just holding on to the treasure chest.
Yeah, but he's like, no. He says, if there's one thing I've learned from you, it's to kick them when they're down. And baby, you're 6 feet under. So he's like, I have all the power. I'm in control now, bitch. You can't tell me what to do. And she says, well, he goes to like throw the mix into the water.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, why? Yeah. Somebody else could use it.
Right. And also, how deep even is that? And is it even going to hurt it? Because that whole machine's been underwater for like a million years.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like Kerrigan can probably just fly in and get it. She's a ghost. Right. She doesn't need to breathe. The whole thing is baffling. I don't know. It made more sense if he smashed it up against a wall, but he like goes to chuck it in the water. I don't know. I don't get it. But she stops him. Yeah, she stops him and she's like, if you don't change me back into a person, I'm going to haunt you forever. Right. And he says, listen, you can haunt me all you want because I'll be in my big mansion and it'll be great. And
with my purple walls and green carpet or something.
Yeah, purple velvet walls or whatever he says.
Yeah.
He says, I'm going to get a little dog and I'm going to name it Kerrigan and she'll be a bitch just like you. And I'm like, stop saying bitch. This is a children's movie.
But she's not having it, and she just throws him out the window.
Yeah, she says, oh yeah, before that you should get ready for your flight. And he's like, my what? And she chucks him out a window, and then he dies.
I guess.
Presumably. I don't know.
We never see him again.
I know. He doesn't come back as a ghost, which would make more sense for him to, like, be a ghost at some point, for us to hear him go. But no, we just never see him again. So gone. His fate is unknown. Thank you.
Yeah, so Kerrigan has the soup mix again. Mm-hmm. But Kat and Casper say, wait, Kerrigan, aren't you forgetting something?
Yeah, she's like, no.
Your unfinished business?
My what?
All ghosts have unfinished business.
But she says, I have no unfinished business. My life is perfect. I have my treasure. I have my mansion. I got everything I needed. I got everything I came for. Yep. And they're like, cool. Because it worked. And bright beams of light start shining out of her. Because she's crossing over. Yep. She's like, wait, no, I'm just kidding. I have loads of unfinished business. I have so many things left that I need to do. But it's too late. She turns into a bright flash of light, and she's gone. And she drops the bottle of soup mix. And Casper and Kat stare at it for far too long as it falls towards the floor. But then Kat finally leaps forward at the last second and catches it, and it's fine.
Yep, and at the same time, the chest also falls, and it pops open. Mm-hmm. And inside, there's only a baseball and a glove.
Yep.
And Kat says, that's your treasure?
Yeah, Casper's like, it's an autographed baseball, autographed by Duke Snider from the Brooklyn Dodgers, my favorite player.
But Kat's like, all right, quit getting distracted.
Okay, whatever.
It's time.
Yep.
Puts him in the machine.
But then, before she can start it up, again, she hears, honey, I'm home. And here comes her ghost dad.
Yeah.
Not that ghost dad. This ghost dad.
He also, like Kerrigan, looks so much more like his actual self and less like a cartoon.
Right.
Than the other ghosts do.
Yeah, he's wearing his sweater, he's wearing his glasses, he's got the beard.
He's got hair. And at first, I was like, maybe it's just like the longer they're ghosts, the more they forget what they look like.
Yeah.
And so they start to look different.
Yeah.
But he has forgotten Kat immediately.
Right.
And Kerrigan didn't forget anything at all.
No.
I don't understand.
I know, because at first I was thinking, well, maybe it's your memory that goes first, and then the longer you're a ghost, the more, And then, so the only thing that I can think is that maybe it's what you were thinking about when you die. Like, when she died, her goal was to become a ghost so that she could go into the house.
Right.
And get the treasure.
Yeah.
And what he was thinking about when he died was just to be drunk and party.
Maybe.
And so that's what he's doing for forever.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, she remembers because that's why she became a ghost. But it doesn't make any sense. And as we previously mentioned, it's all kind of loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's like, Dad, it's me, Kat. And he's like, oh, yeah, Cat Baloo. And then all the other ghosts are like, catastrophic.
Catatonic.
Catatonic.
Kreplach soup?
Soup?
I don't understand that. But she is very upset and she starts crying.
Yeah.
And one of the ghosts says, "Flash flood alert."
Yeah, very helpful. But she puts her hand out with her pinky out to do a pinky swear like they did forever ago.
Yeah, Dad, don't you remember?
Like 3 whole days ago.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, yeah." And then he pulls her finger and makes a fart noise.
Yeah.
She's like, "No, like this." And she grabs his pinky with her pinky, which I'm like, how come he gets to have pinky fingers and Casper doesn't? I think he still only has 4 fingers. Anyway. But it reminds him.
Yes.
And he gets very sad and very sorry. And then Casper comes out of the Lazarus machine and pushes Dr. Harvey into it. And he says, "Come on, Dr. Harvey, you need this more than I do."
Yep. And he puts him in the machine and pulls the lever. Mm-hmm. And the lights in the house all flicker.
Yeah.
And the kids scream.
Yeah, because remember, there's a whole school upstairs.
Right. But the machine works.
Yeah.
And Dr. Harvey is alive again.
Yeah.
And he hugs Kat and is like, "Wow, what a weird dream."
I know. Thank God that it worked. And didn't turn him into like a full English breakfast or something. Like, they don't know.
Bangers and mash.
Yeah, they've never seen it work, as far as I know.
But it works, and it works fine, so why didn't they use it before? I don't understand.
Don't know. Anyway, he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. And Kat's traumatized forever.
No, she's fine.
Yeah, her dad's a therapist. She'll be okay.
Yeah, she'll be fine. She's got free therapy for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
And they hear the sounds of music playing upstairs, and Casper, very sadly, says, "Your party is starting. Your date is probably waiting on you."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Dr. Harvey's like, "Yeah, let's get going. Where are we?"
What is happening, actually?
Yeah.
So then, we go upstairs to the party.
Yeah.
And they're looking down on they're all the way upstairs.
Yes.
They're looking down over this party.
I don't know how they got back up there. But...
There's just chairs. Chairs everywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere you want to go in this house, just sit down. Pull something nearby. It'll get you somewhere.
Pull a tassel.
What I want to know is who decorated. Because now there's lights strung up, there's music happening. Is there food? Is there a DJ? Like, what is there to do with this party? And
there
who
is
set
a
it
DJ.
Up? Yeah.
Yeah.
How did this happen?
I guess they all carried shit in.
They just showed up and they were like, "We're here for the party. Also, we're going to set up for the party."
I guess. I mean, maybe the school has a party committee.
Sure, but they probably would have set up beforehand.
Listen, I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, he kisses her forehead and she's like, "I hope nobody saw that."
Yeah.
But she goes to their party because he's like, "Go do your thing," or "cut a rug," or whatever it is
Chill.
the kids do.
Yeah.
She's like, "Dad."
Yeah. Yep. But then she heads down to the party.
Yeah.
We cut back to Amber and Vic.
Mm-hmm.
They're in this weird costume where Amber is made up to look like a dead person, and she's sitting on Vic's shoulders, and they have a giant sheet over him so that she just looks super tall.
Yeah.
And they look in the mirror to make sure that it looks good.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah.
She's like, "You gotta see this." And he, like, pulls the sheet up over his head so that he can look. And he's like, "Oh, wow, it does look pretty tight." And it does. It would be cool if this was just their costume.
Yeah.
But no, they're here to be dicks. But they don't get that chance, because as they're looking at themselves in the mirror, the ghost trio pops out and scares them. Mm-hmm. They're all like, "Oh, yeah, you look great."
Yeah.
And so they go running, screaming out of the room, into the ballroom.
Yep. Amber is screaming her head off, and then she gets clotheslined by some of the lights, which is hilarious. But Vic does not stop for a second.
No, I wouldn't either.
And is just dragging her behind him.
Yeah.
Because he's still in the costume, and so is she.
Yes.
And it's very funny.
It is very funny. And everyone at the party watches this happen. They're all kind of quiet for a second, but then they think it's just planned, and they start clapping. Yeah. And, like, looking at Kat, and they're like, "Yeah, wow, great party. That was really cool. That was spooky for a second, but then it was funny. Like, woo, what a good time we're having." And Kat's like, "Yeah, I did a great job." Also,
it zooms in on Kat while people are clapping for this, and there's just a nun smoking a cigar standing next to her. And it's an adult.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is this a costume? Like, what is this?
It's just a nun.
It's just an actual nun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wandered in. So then we see Casper. He's up in the attic playing with his toys again, and he's being very sad.
Yeah.
And he's, like, throwing the baseball around. But then one time he throws it up, and it doesn't come back down. So he looks up to see, and there's a shiny light and some sparkles coming through the ceiling.
Yeah.
And then there's a lady in a red dress.
Yeah.
She's very pretty.
She is.
And he says, You're
That's right.
Kat's mom." And I'm like, "Yeah, Casper." She said yes twice. Yeah. yes, that is me. Yes.
It's anyway. Amelia. It's Kat's mom. Amelia. Why does she look completely normal?
Oh, we'll find out.
Okay.
In just 1 second here.
But she tells him that was a very noble thing that you did tonight, Casper.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells him that his dad is proud of him.
Yeah.
And in return, she's going to give him his dream.
Yeah.
But just for tonight. It's sort of a Cinderella deal.
Yes, so he says, cool, I have until midnight.
And she says 10.
And he says, but hey, Cinderella got until midnight.
Cinderella wasn't 12 years old.
He's already at home.
And he's dead. Where does he have to be?
Yeah. What, can't even give him till midnight.
But then she blows fairy dust in his face.
Yep. She just blows regular dust in his face.
There's so
she
much.
got from the house.
Yeah.
So now we're back at the dance, and everyone is paired off.
Yeah,
except Cat.
There's a slow song playing.
Yeah, they're doing the awkward, like, where you just shuffle from one foot to another while there's, like, 6 inches in between you. Mm-hmm. But she's sitting there, alone.
Gotta leave space for Ghost Jesus.
Of course. In her wedding dress.
Yeah.
And we see some kid walking down the stairs toward her, but we see him from the back. We see the back of his head and his very cool haircut.
Very cool 90s haircut.
Yes. And he approaches Kat and takes her hand out onto the dance floor. And I'm like, what if she said no thank you?
Yeah.
Because I don't know you.
No.
Oh, I'm good. But they go out there and they dance and we see tiny baby Devon Sawa.
Yeah. Who's definitely more than 12, but that's okay.
Anyway.
But they start slow dancing.
Yeah.
And it is cute. Yeah. They're being like respectful.
Yes.
You know, they're not dancing too close.
No.
And they're kind of like gazing in each other's eyes.
Yeah, and she keeps looking at him like, why do I know you? Because I've never seen you before, but you look so familiar. Yeah. You know, there's this sense of like, she's confused, but like, does she know who this is? And then they start floating.
Yeah.
And it takes her a while to notice. And then she looks down and she gets scared and she like hugs herself to him.
Yeah. But
he whispers, I told you I was a good dancer. She kind of looks at him and he says, can I keep you? She's like,
Casper?
What? And then they're back down on the floor.
Yes.
And everyone has stopped dancing and they're all just watching.
For some reason.
It's weird.
Nobody looked when they were floating, but now that they're on the floor, they're all looking.
Yep. Maybe somebody looked and then they're like, hey, what? But by the time everyone's looking, like, they're back down on the floor. Did I just... This party is crazy.
Wow.
Anyway, then we see Dr. Harvey, who is still upstairs looking over the dance, and he hears some whooshing. And he turns around. And there's Amelia. Yeah. She floats through the window and says, hello, James.
Amelia.
Yep. He stammers at her for a little bit, and he's just like, I thought I would have 100 things to say when I... How?
Mm-hmm. And she says, let's just say, 3 crazy ghosts that kept their word.
Yeah.
Which is
they
sweet. Yeah.
talk for a little bit, and she explains she's not a ghost.
Yeah.
Because she didn't have unfinished business. She said, you and Kat loved me so much while I was alive that I was fine when I died. I just got to go because I didn't have any unfinished business.
Is that why she looks normal?
Yeah, so she's like an angel.
Ghost, really.
She's just in heaven. Or hell, depending on that dress. But I think she's in heaven because she looks very sweet. Yeah. And she seems very sweet.
Yeah.
But she says, I don't have any unfinished business. Please don't let me be yours.
And he's like, but I don't know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And Amelia's like, no one knows what they're doing.
Yeah, no parent has any idea what they're doing. And you seem to be doing great.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Our daughter is growing up to be this wonderful woman because of you. But here are some rules, maybe, going forward. Stop picking up the other phone every time she has a phone call and listening in. Stop feeding her french fries for breakfast. It's not a meal. Feed her real food. Yeah. Also, don't make her wear a t-shirt under her bathing suit.
Yes. Yeah.
Our daughter is a teenager.
Yeah. The music in this part is gonna make me cry all by itself.
Yeah.
This song is really good.
Yeah.
But she puts her hand on his little face and starts to leave.
Yeah.
He's like, where are you going?
Yeah.
She says, I'm going where I can watch over both of you till we're together again.
Yeah, you better not get remarried, Dr. Harvey.
Yeah, or like, pick your nose. I don't know. That's just like creepy.
Yeah.
Like, don't watch me.
Yep.
But then the clock starts to strike 10. Mm-hmm. And it's striking 10 so hard that dust is flying out of it. More dust! What is the dust budget on this movie?
Crevice. Also, like, were they dancing for a long time and we missed it? Or was she seriously like, you have until 10? And he's like, that's 7 minutes from now.
I mean, I really think that that's what happened, yeah.
That it was just like a very short amount of time. Yeah. And that's why he was like, I get until midnight. She's like, no. You get until 10. You
get 10 minutes run.
Yeah. Hey,
and you're a person now, so you can't even go through the wall.
I see you wasting time on that dramatic descent down the stairs. Book it, you little shit. Anyway. So then Casper kisses Kat.
It's cute.
Yeah. But he turns back into a ghost.
Yeah.
And it scares everyone at the party. And they all stampede out the front doors, screaming. Mm-hmm. And Kat's like, well, so much for that party.
Yeah, I think it went okay, though. It's fine.
Yeah, it's 15 minutes long.
Dr. Harvey says, "It ain't over yet!"
Uh-huh.
And the trio start to play a song about Casper.
Hit it, boys!
Casper, the friendly ghost.
They're all dressed like Little Richard.
Yes.
I don't know if... I'm pretty sure Little Richard is singing the song. Because then it hits a note later that's just like, woo! I'm like, yes.
Yeah, or Mariah Carey. Either one.
The little mustaches is what leads me more towards Little Richard.
Yeah, I've never looked at Mariah Carey's upper lips. Anyway, that's the end.
That's the end. We made it.
Woo!
Woohoo!
We did it.
We did it. Is it a replay?
I liked it. Yeah.
Or a rewind?
I would watch it again if somebody else wanted to watch it.
Yeah, it's cute. It's Halloween-y. Like,
Yeah.
it's a good, like, background Halloween nostalgia movie.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, definitely cute. Nothing, like, overtly problematic.
No.
Or bad.
For once.
So, yeah, same. Did it make you cry?
Almost.
Yeah.
It almost got me.
Yeah.
Just like the sad music when he's talking to Amelia and just being so sad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It made me cry when she was talking about how she didn't want to forget her mom.
Yeah.
That really got me.
Yeah.
And her talking about, like, all the things that she used to do. And I was just like, meh.
Yeah. That makes me sad, too. But, I don't know. That girl, whoever wrote the script does not know what it's like to lose your mom.
Yeah.
Just because, I don't know. I don't think that I've forgotten very much about my mom.
Yeah.
I still dream about her all the time, and,
Well, she hadn't forgotten anything yet. She was just worried that she was going to forget.
But I'm saying 13 years on.
Yeah.
Like, I still remember a
Don't
lot
worry
of stuff,
about it,
so
Kat.
yeah, don't worry.
It'll be okay.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
I was kind of sad that Kat didn't get to see her mom again. I know that her, she was, like, pretty much like, our, mom died.
Right.
It's a bummer, but, like, she's moved on. She's not a ghost. And her dad was the one who, like, really needed to, like, wrap that up.
Right.
But, if she could have gotten to see her again, that would have been nice.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Maybe she will later. I mean, she said she was going to hang out and watch over them, so maybe she'll just show up periodically.
Sure.
Why not? Anyway, so it came out in May.
Yeah.
May 26th, 1995.
Right.
Which is weird.
It is weird.
It's very specifically Halloween-y. Like, it's not just like, oh, there are ghosts and that makes it spooky. There's a Halloween party.
Halloween party, yeah. Wowaheen.
It's just strange.
It is weird.
But it had a budget of $55 million.
Uh-huh.
It made $287.9 million.
Hell yeah, good job.
So it did great.
Yeah.
However, it only has a 51% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't get that.
Seems low.
Yeah. I mean, they're, like, so, before we watched it, we looked up the plot.
Yeah.
Because we were, like, just curious about it. And when you read the plot, it sounds super convoluted. Like, on paper, it's like, what?
Yes.
But when you watch it, it all makes sense.
Yeah.
And we've done a lot of movies where you're just like, there is too much happening.
Like, why?
But it really doesn't feel like that.
No.
Like, the only real thing that I wish is that more time had passed.
With them being in the house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, they kind of became more friendly with the ghosts over, like, a couple months or something.
Yeah, that would have... Because, I mean,
they don't have to show, like, every single day, obviously. Just some sort of, like, montage to show time passing. Yeah.
Yeah, so Kat hanging out with Casper, and then you can show, like, Dr. Harvey trying to get through to the ghosts in his office, and they're just, like, doing antics, and not, like... So that leads him to be like, I'm just gonna ignore them and pretend like I've given up on them.
Right. Instead of that being, like, the first thing that he does, basically. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have shown all of that without dialogue, and it still would have shown us, like, them,
Yeah, and
getting closer
then it wouldn't
together.
have, like, felt so rushed.
Yeah, because Kerrigan even said, you like, weeks is fine.
Yeah.
So, like, I know they're on a deadline, but they're not on, like, a 5-day deadline.
Right, and they could have shown up, too, and been like, it is taking too long.
Yeah.
And that's why they
came back.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen to that house? Because Kerrigan's dead now. It's her house legally.
But also...
She definitely didn't write a will.
Yeah, why is it her house?
It was willed to her.
Yeah, from her dad?
Yeah.
So...
It was his house.
So
now it's her house.
Buy it?
Yeah, I guess he owned it at some point. He must have.
From the McFadens?
Oh, that's yeah, I mean, I guess so.
Or was he, like, related to them?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Is Kerrigan related to Casper?
Maybe. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it was, like, an auction when
Mr.
McFadden died.
Because those ghosts have been there since Casper died. So has anybody else ever lived there since...
I mean, it certainly doesn't look like it, because they probably would have gotten rid of the fatso stretch and stinky beds, unless they lived in the house afterwards and then they all died.
Yeah, so maybe she's related to one of them.
Yeah.
They're shitty, so that makes more sense.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's just weird. But yeah, I don't know what happened to the house. It's probably not, even worth very much, so I'm sure they could have bought it.
Yeah, it's just like, does it...
Do you want to?
I mean, they already live in it, but it's just not how things work, where it's just like, you can just have it.
Well, no, they would have to buy it, but yeah, and I'm sure there'd be a lot of red tape.
I know, and he doesn't have any money.
Yeah.
I just am curious what's going to happen next to that house.
I don't know.
Anyway. It was fairly critically well-liked.
Yeah.
Across the board. Roger Ebert gave it 3 stars.
Nice.
In his review, he refers to Casper as his friendliness,
Aww,
which I thought was really cute.
That's cute.
And then the last couple of lines he says, like the Flintstones and the Addams Family, Casper is an attempt to bring cartoons to life when incorporating them with real actors and sets. As a technical achievement, it's impressive and entertaining. And there is even a little winsome philosophy, as when Casper sadly tells Kat, I guess when you're a ghost, life just doesn't matter that much anymore.
Is that philosophy?
I don't know.
Like, there are, like, deep points made in this movie, but I don't think it's that.
I don't know, that's the one. Roger Ebert's like, I just can't wait to die. So I can stop watching this garbage. But he really liked it. I mean, and he thought, like, technologically, it was really well done. And he's right. I mean, it still holds up really well, even...
Yeah, for 95?
Yeah.
Yeah. This
was also the first time that CGI had ever been used for the main character in a movie.
Oh, nice.
So, it was pretty cool.
And the main pancakes.
And the main... yeah, the main course.
Yeah.
I don't really have any other information about it other than people who were almost in it.
Okay.
So, I'll go ahead and tell you that. For the role of Dr. James Harvey, they offered it to John Ritter, Tom Hanks, Dennis Quaid, Kurt Russell, Rene Russo, Robin Williams, Jim Carrey, and Tim Allen. I think literally any of those people would have been fine.
Well, yeah, also, that's just like the same people that are offered every role
the list
that we have covered.
Danny DeVito and Joe Pesci are not on this list.
Well, he's normal height.
That's true. Weird that they did not get offered one of the speaking roles.
Yeah, that
for
is
the
weird.
Ghosts. Maybe they did and they just didn't write it down. But yeah, I mean, it's the one. Who are we missing? Harrison Ford. He always gets thrown in there.
Yes.
So for the role of Paul Dibs Plutzker, whose name is never mentioned in the entire movie, but that's it, if you were curious.
Oh, interesting.
Paul Plutzker is his name.
I like Dibs better.
Hugh Laurie, Rowan Atkinson, John Cleese, Michael Palin, Bill Murray, Steve Martin, Alan Rickman, Bryan Cranston, Jason Alexander, Michael Richards, Daniel Stern, Chevy Chase, Gene Wilder, and Stephen Fry were all considered.
I was gonna say Bill Murray was a name that we always hear and hadn't been mentioned yet, but there it is.
There he is. Again, any of those guys probably would have been great.
Yeah.
I like that all of the Monty Python dudes are on there.
Yes. His role is very Monty Python-y.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, any of those would have been fun. Gene Wilder, of course, would have been super fun. But I mean, like, Alan Rickman would have done a great job. I love him.
Absolutely.
So. For the role of Kerrigan Crittenden, they considered Kathleen Turner, Carrie Fisher, Glenn Close, Sigourney Weaver, Debbie Mazar, Michelle Pfeiffer, Sandra Bullock, Nicole Kidman, and Famke Janssen.
Oh.
Sadly, no
Jennifer
Tilly.
Tilly.
I know. She would have been great.
Yeah.
She was too busy doing... I don't know what's happening this time.
Doing other shit.
Scarlett Johansson and Kirsten Dunst were both considered for the role of Kat.
Ah.
Kathy Moriarty is in Kindergarten Cop as Sylvester's mom. I was like, I know I should know this lady from somewhere.
Wait, who?
Kathy Moriarty, who played Kerrigan Crittenden.
Oh.
Is Sylvester's mom.
Oh.
Yeah.
How did we not notice that?
I don't know.
Like, I knew she looked familiar, but
yeah.
I was just like, yeah, she just has one of those faces.
No. She's in Kindergarten Cop, so we can add another string
to our pegboard.
To the pegboard.
Doesn't exist.
Should definitely be on this wall.
Yeah, we have space now, actually.
Yeah. Oh my god, we have to make one for real.
Do I have red yarn?
That wall would have been great. Or would be. Either one.
Either one.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
I'm excited. Anyway. I also, like, I know the name Devon Sawa, but I couldn't pick him up out of a lineup.
Oh,
and I don't know anything he's been in. He's in Final Destination?
Yeah, and, what's that other movie? He's in a bunch of shit from that time period.
Looked at his IMDb and I was like, no, I don't think I've seen any of these things. Too. I don't know any of these things. He also plays Stan in the video for Eminem's Stan.
Yeah.
So that's fun. The kid who plays Vic is named Garrett Ratliff Henson. He is not related to Jim Henson, but he is brothers with Eldon Henson, who played Foggy Nelson in Daredevil, and also is in all of the Mighty Ducks movies.
Oh.
So is this kid. They're both in the Mighty Ducks movies.
Yeah. He definitely has hockey player hair.
Yes.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
Yeah. I was watching some of Daredevil. Like, I started out when everybody was like, the show is so good. And I was like, I'm in love with Foggy Nelson. But the rest of it is like, I don't care.
I liked it. But yeah, I didn't finish it.
I didn't either. It was just when Vincent D'Onofrio showed up, I think, that I was like, man, I usually love him, but
yeah,
I don't want to watch him in this.
He's just one of those actors that is great.
Oh, yeah.
But he definitely gets typecast in a certain kind of role.
Yeah.
And also was just so hot when he was younger and is just so not now that it makes me sad to look at him. And not in a mean way, because people are allowed to age.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
But he doesn't even look like himself anymore.
No.
Anyway, continue.
That's about it. There is a deleted scene that we will link.
Yes, we will.
Because there was a song called Lucky Enough to Be a Ghost, where...
You can't just put one musical song in a movie.
I know, it would have been super weird.
Yeah.
And it's the 3 ghosts who sing it, and they're really bad at singing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to listen to,
yeah.
But ultimately the reason that it got cut was because the animators were like, okay, we see what you're trying to do here. This is going to cost roughly $3 million to do.
I mean, they could have afforded it if they had known they were going to make as much money as they did.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm glad that it wasn't in there.
Yeah, and I'm sure they were like, it already took a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like, and it just, like, it's really silly. The most fun thing, because you can watch it, they filmed it.
Yeah.
All of the not animated parts.
Mm-hmm.
And so there, you can go watch, and they have the comparison of, like, the parts that they filmed, and then the animators reference.
Oh, yeah.
So there's, like, they've got Bill Pullman on, like on strings, what do you call it? Like in a harness. So he's like flipping around because the ghosts are like tossing him around and like, putting him around the room. And then they have underneath the comparison, it's just like, there are just people holding up like foam ghosts, like running around with them. So they'll be like, this is where Stinky would be in this part of the scene. And so you can just like reference it for this. So you can kind of put it together in your brain and then get the song stuck in your head for the rest of your day.
Do you
like
think
I did.
Bill Pullman, when he found out they weren't going to animate the scene, was like, I did flips and shit.
There's a little bit of, like, of a conversation with him about it, but he doesn't really say anything one way or the other.
Yeah.
He just was like, yeah, I heard that it was going to be $3 million. Because it's him and the director sitting together, and the director's like, yeah, they said it was going to be millions. And Bill Pullman was like, I heard 3.
Yeah.
So, they just talk about it. There's also... It's like 40 minutes long, so I didn't watch the whole thing, but there's a documentary about the movie called Revealing Casper.
Oh, okay.
And I watched the first couple of minutes of it. One, the director, Brad Silberling, has an incredible mullet.
Hell yeah.
Looks amazing. And then 2, the first couple of minutes, they're just interviewing everybody about Casper as though he were a real person.
Oh.
And Brad's like, yeah, I mean, you hear some stories, you get these Hollywood divas in here, you think they're going to be hard to work with. But he was pretty cool. I mean, sometimes it was hard to get him out of his trailer, but,
Oh my god.
And then, like, the guy who voices Stinky was like, oh, he's such a phony. I could see right through him. And
oh my god.
just all these, like, really ridiculous jokes.
Was Casper voiced by Devon Sawa or just
No.
played by... Okay, because I was like, he doesn't sound like Devon Sawa.
No, Casper is voiced by a little boy named Malachi Peterson, who is adorable. He's just, like, chubby face. He's got these really pretty green eyes, and he's also talking about, like, he's like, yeah, the first time people meet him, they're like, ghost! But, like, he's so cool when you get to know him. So, it's really cute.
That is cute. Was it filmed, I guess, the documentary is filmed, like, while they were filming the movie?
Yeah, I think so.
Cute.
But yeah, they all had a good time. Later, Christina Ricci was like, the movie is kind of stupid. Like, falling in love with a ghost, that's dumb.
Aw.
I was like, it's fun, it's
It's
cute.
cute, yeah.
So, I don't know, hopefully she likes it now, but she was like, yeah, whatever. She's a teenager, so I'm sure she was like, she was kind of trying to distance herself from...
Wednesday Addams.
Well, yeah, and children's things, She was like, I'm getting older, I would like to not just do children's movies.
Yeah.
They really wanted to do a live-action sequel, but she was busy, Bill Pullman was busy, and she was like, I don't really want to do it anyway, so I'm not gonna make time.
They have little ghost babies in the sequel.
Yeah. Casper is second. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That was fun.
Yeah.
That's the end of spooky season, too.
That's it. So happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. That's a Halloween song I made up. Just now.
That was so good.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you for being here with us for a year.
Oh my god.
This is it.
Oh my god, it
last
is.
year. Yeah.
It's fuck.
Yeah. I mean, I know we've said it a couple times, but like, cannot overstate how much we appreciate you guys hanging out. Or if you're just joining us, thank you for being here at all. And you have a whole year's worth of episodes to look forward to, so that's fun.
Don't go too far back.
Go all the way back.
I'm
We've
scared.
been great since day one.
I don't know.
Everything we do is perfect. This is the best podcast you've ever heard.
Oh, it's fine.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
If you would like to come talk to us about literally anything, tell us your ghost stories.
Us on our 1 year.
Yeah, if you need an address to send gifts, message me. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
It's
my house.
If you have any... yeah, Whipstaff Manor. Friendship, Maine. If you have any ghost stories of your own, I would love to hear them. I love when people tell me about ghost encounters, even if I don't necessarily believe it. Because I'm like, I've met ghosts, but I don't believe anybody else who's met ghosts. I haven't met them, I just experienced.
Right, I don't believe in ghosts, but I don't not believe in ghosts.
Couldn't explain. But I mean, I love to hear, like, about haunted houses and shit, so tell us about your ghost experiences, or just tell us about anything you want. Really, I don't care. Come talk to us.
Yeah, we're on Instagram at Replay Rewind Podcast. We're on Tumblr at Replay Rewind Podcast. We are on Twitter at Replay Rewind Pod, or you can email us at replayrewindpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, if you want to hear a year's worth of episodes, you can go check them out. Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this one. If you want not quite a year, but 6 months worth of bonus material, you can go find that on patreon.com/replayrewindpodcast.
Yes, sign up and immediately get access to actually a lot of episodes.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah.
There's at least 6, because like every month we do a full movie that fits the time period, but not the criteria as far as children's movies go. This month we did Scream. So there's like 6 months worth of that. There's also, we started on April Fool's Day. So, since then we've been doing remixes where we like write sequels for movies or mashups or whatever. Sometimes we fill them full of Muppets. Sometimes we do deep dives into things that we like to learn about. Like we have a whole...
love to be filled full of Muppets.
We have a whole episode about Robin Williams. We'll shout your name out on the show. We'll mail you a sticker. It's cool. It's a good time. So go check it out.
In the meantime, stay fresh. Cheese bags.
Spooky.
Stay fresh. Stay cheese, spooky bags. Stay spooky, cheese bags. Stay cheesy, spook bags.
Oh my god. And don't forget to reduce, reuse, recycle, replay, rewind, and reanimate your dead son. And check all your candy for razor blades.
Oh god.
I'm just kidding. That's not a real thing. People don't do that. It's fucked up. Bye.